DWG.
승리 축하드리고요. 오늘 정말
Congratulations on the win and welcome back to the LCK. How are you feeling?
제가 스프링에는 별로 좋지
I
않은 모습 보여드리고
was not able to perform well in
지금
spring
와서
split.
대회하는데
Now I'm
준비도
back
솔직히 잘안
at the summer
돼가지고
split. I
걱정이
was
있었는데
not really that ready, to be honest.
그거에 비해서
But
좀 좋은
compared to
경기력도 나온
that,
것
I think I was
같아서
able to show up. So I'm
네.
pretty much
오늘
satisfied
경기가 너무
with
좋았고,
today's
사실
performance.
오늘 방금 말씀해주셨지만 이제 준비 과정에서 어쨌든 지금
And
T1이 좀
owner,
이슈가
yeah,
있는 상황이다
just like you
보니까
mentioned,
또
T1 is going through a lot of
경기력이라든지
things.
내부 분위기에 대해서 팬분들도 좀
So a lot of
걱정을 많이 하긴
fans
하셨을
are
것
also
같은데
worried
오늘
about the
경기력도
current
좋았고,
situation,
사실
but
선수들의
T1
이야기하는 게
put up a
저희가
really
중간중간
nice
끌어들여서
fight and
분위기가 너무
performed
되게
so well. And also in the voice comp, I think players are also feeling super okay.
나올 거라고 예상은 못 하셨지만
Even though, you know, you didn't expect this kind of an outcomes, but this match, I think, has become a huge impact for you guys, right?
상황이지만 그래도
You know, yeah, things are
보면 그 상황에
happening,
맞춰서
but
잘해야 된다
if you are a
생각하기
professional
때문에
player, you have to adapt to the given situation and, you know, overcome this. And so we were able to, you know,
네, 그렇습니다.
have some good time today.
어떤 상황에서도 진짜 결국 좋은 경기력 보여주는 게 좋으니까요.
Indeed, I think that's the right answer about being a professional player. And today, you made some bold actions on that Diana in your first game here at the summer split. What kind of goal did you have for today's performance or today's match? Not only Diana, but I also practiced Lee Sin a lot, but it got banned in every game. It's a bummer, but I wanted to, you know, show some great performance on Lee Sin. And I also have some memory of getting kicked by owners Lee Sin in solo queue as well, says Nuclear. And I guess that ban was a target ban onto your Lee Sin probably. I guess, yeah, coming back to the LCK might add some pressure on your shoulders, right? I mean, of course, I did feel nervous, but you know, after the setup, you know, with my keyboards and mouse connected to the PC, you know, having some chat with the bottom duo. And thanks to them, I was able to feel so comfortable and play at ease. Yeah, I mean, speaking of the chat between the bottom duo, I heard Kana actually doing some Nongshim impression with the Kana thing. And the Korean commentators also loved and also got embarrassed at the same time. I didn't really hear that in game. So I don't know. I guess that's his own, you know, work. In game number 1, we had some pop-up performance on Diana, some destructive moments. So here's a replay. Let's take a look at it together. You actually dashed in on top of Doron.
여기서는
Well, here,
과정에서부터
well, even in scrims,
저의 각이 맞다고
whenever I
생각하면은
see this
그게
angle,
있더라고.
you know,
이렇게 나와서
my team told me to go whenever you want to.
방송에서 같이 와달라고 하면서
So yeah, I just sent it and I asked for some follow-up from the players. And you also flashed in as well. Weren't you afraid, you know? I thought you might just flash out.
원래 저는 죽을 마음으로 갔기 때문에 죽어도
You know, even if I die, you know,
이런 마인드로 갔기 때문에
our team can still
두렵지
win.
않고
So I wasn't too afraid to flash onto the opponents.
이 경기 같은 경우에
In game number 2, you guys are able to, you know, turn the game around, but there were some actions breaking out on the top side of the map which make you feel more burdened as a jungler. You know, you might want to, you know, cover your top, or maybe you can play around the other side of the map. So tell us about your decision.
형이랑 이제
and macro.
말한 거는 그냥 미안하다.
And me and Kana, we were like, sorry.
미안하다밖에 안 해가지고.
Kana just like, he was just saying sorry all the time.
치고 너무 잘해줘가지고.
But at the same time, he was able to come back online in the later phase of the game. Any message over to Kana?
탑 50을 해서
You played Wukong top, you know, you were the one getting suffered all day long.
그걸로 인해 내가 커서
But thanks to that, I was able to scale and pop off.
잘 봐주길 바래.
So, you know, thank you.
희생하는 역할이
And sorry.
언제나 필요합니다.
그러면 좀 개인적으로 50에 대한 팀적 평가
How does T1 rate Wukong as a top laner right now?
사실 저는 50이 나올지는 몰랐는데
I actually didn't expect this Wukong pick, but
상동이 형 생각으로 해서
I guess
그냥
that
나온
was
것 같아요.
Kana's opinion.
그렇군요.
힘든 구간이 있어도 결국에는 게임
I guess Kana was pretty confident about that Wukong top this time around. And today, Faker in the voice comm, he was like, I did nothing, but we won. But we don't agree with him, you know? We had some fantastic round warps as well. How was his performance as a jungler?
이제 미드 주도권도 잘
He had the
잡았었고
lane
그것
priority.
때문에 저도 잘 큰 것도 있고
And thanks to that, I was able to, you know,
많이 잘
scale.
쓰더라고요.
And his ult,
그래서
yes, it was
공
on
때문에
point.
킬 얻어먹은 것도
Thanks to that
킬
ult, I was
얻어먹은
able
것도
to
있어서
secure some
성균이
kills.
형도 잘했다고 생각합니다.
I think Faker also had some fantastic moments today. Looking forward to seeing more of this T1 roster in the upcoming matches. Your next opponent will be Damwon Kia. Not gonna be an easy matchup. What's your mindset for that
제가
series?
스프링 때 담원기아랑 했을
I-
때 아쉽게 2대1로 졌지만
You know, lost to Damwon Kia in the spring split 2-1, but I have stepped up.
팀원들과 함께
And
노력해서
I hope
좋은
as a team,
경기력으로
all together, we
보답하겠습니다.
can beat them this time around.
앞으로의 좋은 모습도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 승리 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations on the win and thank you for your time. Casters?
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, as per usual, for the translation of Ona's solo interview in his debut game of the season. Absolutely fantastic stuff from him. His Diana play, absolutely legendary, undying throughout the entire series. And KT will unfortunately move down to 8th place with T1 retaining their 5th spot position, but right on the heels of Afrika.
I think this series we learned a lot more, if you can believe it, about KT than we learned about T1 in this series. I think KT, a lot of issues drafting. T1 just played a solid game. I think the real test, as mentioned, is the Damwon Kia matchup, but it's unfortunate we go from fairly weak KT bad drafting to defending world champions. Like, it's a bit of a leap, but I think that's where we're going to have to judge T1 next.
Yes, we certainly will. It's in a couple of days on Saturday, but we still have a matchup this evening. It will be in 30 minutes' time. As with no audience, we don't need to necessarily program the schedule of the broadcast around getting people into LoL Park, and we can have it for you in 30 minutes' time. So, Nongshim versus Damwon Kia, two teams with exactly the same score lines in the standings. It's going to be very, very exciting. Peanut versus Canyon. Oh my goodness, very, very exciting stuff. But we'll have to see you in about 30-odd minutes for that series, so we'll see you then.
Oh, I'm totally lost. So I think Gen G is a team that you're always worried they're gonna kind of let you down. And right now they got 7 wins, and it was like, this is the time where they're not gonna let you down. And then now they got 2 losses against 2 big teams, and it's like already the walls are starting to shake.
Really good. This is something we know he has the potential to actually hit. He did not hit it in spring. He's peak Keen right now. And Dread also looking very good when he's not playing Gwen. Another topic's not playing Gwen. Another topic for another time. But yeah, Afrika, I'm very excited how they're playing the early game. Disappointed dad.
And their bot lane looks really good at the moment. Leo has brought a lot of stability into that roster that it really needed.
Yeah, I think they're a strong team. I just don't believe that they should be sitting at 4th. Like, they're really being carried by Keen, and even though they did have some consistency, even Fly is kind of moving up a bit. I'm just kind of waiting for if Keen can't pop off against a good team.
I think Afrika have the best hold on the meta right now of any team that we have in the LCK.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2021. I'm still Atlas, this is still Wolf, and we now have our headline matchup of the day. Second place taking on third place. Their match score completely even right now, despite the fact that Damwon has won a couple of extra games in amongst that, which has earned them the second place. Last time these two teams met, it was a Nongshim victory, it was a crazy series as well.
Yeah, but now they're back with their regular roster. Showmakers playing mid, Ghost in the bottom lane. We'll see if Nongshim can repeat the victory here, because Nongshim themselves are coming off a win against T1. So a lot of forward momentum for both of these teams right now. Damwon on a 6-game winning streak right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be fireworks, I think, no matter what happens here. And we're really going to learn who our second-place team is right now as we get closer and closer to playoffs.
Yeah, and we'll have to find out whether Nongshim are once again going to get Ghost subbed out, because they were the team that did it last time around. It was off the back of that we saw all of the craziness, but it also seemed a little bit like it was the end of the hangover. But let's bring up points of the match and see what we have to look at when it comes to this series. 2 7-3 teams, as we mentioned earlier on, and Damwon Kia definitely trying to secure that second place. First place is held by Gen G at the moment. Damwon Kia do have a higher game win rate, though, than Gen G despite that. So have been showing a bit more consistency in their victories. However, last time these two teams faced, it was a 27-minute stomp from Damwon Kia in game 1, and we were like, oh, they're feeling it. They're back again. Do you know what happened the next game, Wolf? What happened was Nongshim decided to obliterate them in even faster time, and after all of it was said and done, Rich and Peanut together had died once in the last 2 games. Like, it was brutal.
Yeah. It's going to be a really exciting series. Ghost is about to hit his 400th game. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it this season, considering that he was subbed out for so long, but now that he's back, he's going to hit that. And now that Damwon's back in form, Nongshim is looking better and better. That's why this matchup is so exciting. Take a look at some of these team stats. You'll notice there's a lot of big negative goal differences here across the board.
Yeah.
That's because in the losses these two teams take, they have been utterly dominated so hard that their goal difference averages are still in the negative, which is hard to believe, but that's just the truth. That's how this has happened.
Yep. Just to make it even more confusing, T1 stats are like in the positive and looking really great, even though they are a middling team at this particular point in time. Maybe after Owen has been brought back into the team, things are going to change. However,
it's a tumultuous season.
This absolutely is not about them, and this is about moving through our round 2 and seeing exactly what's going to happen. And already, so many questions have been posed, and we haven't had a lot of them answered. This might be one of the first times we do, because these are two teams vying for our top 2 spots, and now with our new playoffs format, that is so much more important. Top 2 means you skip the first round of the playoffs. If you get first place, you get to then choose your opponent first, and that can also be highly valuable. But we'll just have to see how it goes. There's no changes here for the Damwon Kia roster. Still waiting for Rahel to make his debut after being brought up from Challenger. But while they're still winning, 6-game winning streak like you were talking about, Wolf, you're not going to be subbing anyone out yet.
I don't think we'll see Rahel this season unless Ghost really falls off again. And a lot of that's not just on him. It was on how the whole team was playing together as a unit. But I don't expect to see him, like I said, anytime soon. Whereas Nongshim, going to keep the same roster, of course, that they found so much success with. No Wayne. Wayne fans are going to have to keep waiting a little bit longer. But Duck Dom and Kel in the bottom lane, that's the matchup you're most excited about is Nongshim, because it's a winning matchup in terms of that against Damwon Kia. But the key player matchup is going to be Canyon versus Peanut. If you look at their kill participation at 15, it's extremely low, because neither of these players actually look for ganks. They're both farming junglers right now in this meta, which is why their experience difference at 15 is insanely high. Peanut #1 in the league, and he almost doubles the experience difference of Canyons, who's #2.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about Peanut this season is that he has really developed alongside the meta so beautifully, just because we have been seeing so many more of these more carry style junglers. We've seen so many more mid laners giving up a lot of their mid lane. That's why we saw Gori a lot on the set duty and things like that. And it feels like that is the way you play the game. I mean, we just watched Ona basically hard carry 2 games from the jungle. That is how we sort of see things. And Canyon, he's making his way back up to form as well. I feel like Canyon and Peanut at the moment have a very similar champion pool and a very similar play style. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what kind of champions we're going to see out of these two players, and also what the results are going to be moving around the map early. As you can see, Peanut already in high spirits.
If we also knew Nongshim jersey, which looks very clean.
I know, they're pretty smick.
Yeah, I really do like it. But it looks more like an esports jersey than kind of just like a Ramyeon cup around a player. But more on that some other time. Anyway, yeah, like you said, the jungle pool overlaps massively. Rumble, Diana are going to be high priority for both of these players. And what's really interesting is if either of these or both of these end up getting banned in the first phase, we're going to have to see how deep the rabbit hole goes for these two players. But, you know, you talked about Oner earlier, absolutely crushing, but his playstyle is the gank style on the Diana. He is going to be the one who dives nonstop. These two players aren't really like that. They rely on their laners to do well.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the weak point could be for Damwon Kia is that bottom side of the map. If Duckdom and Kellen crush here, then that's how you get really far ahead. That's how Peanut actually starts to get those extra advantages.
Yep, and as you can see, it's Ghost's 400th game here in the LCK, so congratulations to Ghost. Of course, his career, a really interesting one, you know, goes from playing on bottom of the rung teams for a very long time to then winning Worlds on Damwon Kia on the first year that he's subbed in. So really cool to see the development of this player. Has been hit or miss throughout this particular season, but after MSI, it was difficult to get the spirits back high again, and he's going to join some pretty great names towards our top 20 of players that have played in the LCK for a very long time. Some names probably bringing out some Bible thumps in the chat right now.
This is going to be such an interesting series. Damwon Kia are the home team for this one. Nongshim were last time around. That's starting to become a thing here in the second round as we do swap sides. Having that advantage here for Damwon Kia is massive. They get to pick blue side, and Damwon Kia has always been a team that's revolved so much around that first pick priority in every single meta. Nongshim, on the other hand, do like their red side quite a bit, and they do like to play around their bot duo.
Yep.
But this is not a meta for that. Not this week. We've changed things up quite a bit.
Yeah, hasn't really looked like it. However, I think Red Side still has a lot of power. We saw T1 use it expertly, especially in game one of our first series. So
there's the Thresh already gone.
Oh yeah, no, Kellen's Thresh needs to be banned off the bat every single time. We do need to remind you guys that Tahm Kench has been re-enabled. However, he was already disabled by Riot with the rework.
Yes.
So therefore going to remain disabled, but is theoretically enabled, if you guys can make some sense.
But all teams are able to make bad choices.
You
they usually don't.
Yes, you are allowed to do that if you want to.
So we see the target ban on Ghost Ziggs. Obviously, you have Kellen's Thresh gone, so those red side duos you can have with the AD carry are, you know, really weakened. The Ashe is removed
Oh,
here.
that's so cool.
A really nice call out back to that series we watched where Duckdom carried again.
Yep.
And now, if you're Nongshim here, you're like, well, do we give them over the Diana? You're prepared to take Rumble as a response if that's going to be the case, but they might have something else planned up their sleeve if they are going to let that Diana go through.
I think that's actually one of the most fun things about this draft is that we know how deep the champion pools of so many of these players are outside of Rich, as Diana is going to get banned. I think
you know what?
It's been a long time coming for that one.
If Rumble gets taken, okay, they're going to take the Lucian. I was going to say, if Rumble gets taken, then you get the Renekton Nidalee, and it's actually pretty nice for Nongshim.
Ooh, is it though?
I'm a big fan of it still.
I'm not. I'm off the hype train. It is... When it's in the hands of Rich and Peanut or Gory and Peanut, then maybe you can make a case for it.
If they get the Lucian, then you also get the Rumble, so
yeah.
I'm still feeling pretty good about this Diana ban.
Is it just Renekton Rumble? Maybe you just do that. I kind of hope not, but...
I don't think so. I think
Viego's available.
Yeah, I'd rather see that.
Viego Callista, maybe?
I mean, there's a lot of flex picks you can grab here. You can also take your AD carry early on if you want to wait and respond.
Oh my goodness.
Soul lane picks.
Wolf, Xin Zhao's available.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is up. But that's going to get
there
taken.
It is.
Okay. Not really, one of Peanut's favorites. In fact, his first time playing it this season. It's been banned a lot.
I mean, it's been banned every single game. It's going to be difficult to pick it up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Peanut's going to be able to play it.
He wasn't even playing it when it wasn't really that highly banned early on in the season. So a little bit surprised. I think that's why Damwon Kia were willing to let that one go through. But... now the question is what comes with it, because, I mean, we're not going to see a Lulu, not blind here. You're going to take Aphelios for Duckdom early. That's a pretty unique draft here, Nongshim flavored.
Actually, I like this, because Duckdom has been our Immortal Shield Bow Wits End guy that just likes to pick Aphelios and then plays it semi-tank and then doesn't really care if you dive on top of him, and that's precisely what Damwon Kia are going to do, as that is Gwen Varus locked away. The Gwen I'm expecting to go into the jungle, but could still be flexed, of course, so Nongshim will need to pay respect to it, as Rich going back towards an old favorite.
I love this draft for Nongshim, because now you get the Gnar, you can ban the Jace, you feel very comfortable with this top lane pick, and even if Gwen is played into it, you're very, very happy with that matchup. They decide against it, though, and look for a little bit more lockdown and engage potential here with the Ryze, which is so good with Xin Zhao.
Yeah, the Ryze being locked in, likely going to be up against the Lucian. Showmaker doesn't lose Lucian lanes, so I guess we don't really need to talk about who has priority there. It's just Showmaker playing Lucian, and so he will definitely, no matter what you pick, probably just win the lane. So Gori can pick whatever he wants. I think Xin Zhao and Ryze together are very, very strong. I do like that, able to, Xin Zhao goes in, forces the engage.
They banned the Gnar themselves, too, actually, right after this.
Yeah.
A lot of top teams right now in the LCK who have, insanely good top laners. Khan, right? So standout players, Summit, Keen. A lot of players are picking Gnar right now. And we haven't seen the same sort of priority from our bottom teams, but in this series, they hovered it, and then as soon as they decided not to get it, they did not give Damwon Kia a chance to pick it.
Yeah, Nautilus going to be taken away here just to try and skew what Kellen can do. Of course, Kellen, very practiced when it comes to a lot of the enchanters on the bottom side. I'd actually be very surprised if he didn't go for something, like a Lulu, like a Karma that can augment this Xin Zhao so much.
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely a really strong pick. I know this draft is a little bit more fleshed out. So I'd like to see a ban considered there. There's Khan's Jace removed.
Yep, most played champion of all time.
And, if you do ban the... if you do end up banning an enchanter like the Karma, something like that, it does, or the Lulu, it does give you opportunities elsewhere because the Leona is still available, right? So, a lot of options here. So I wonder if they'll actually go all in on the double support ban.
I think Leona does make a lot of sense as a ban here as well. We'll see where Damwon... Oh my goodness, Tahm Kench!
I mean, it's still fairly strong with Aphelios in the bottom lane, but I don't agree with this ban.
Well, Viego gets to be picked R4 somehow.
Yeah.
That is not something that I was expecting to say, as Damwon Kia were very much committed to the bottom side of the map.
I think you're very happy to play as Viego into Renekton too, and into Gwen. Gwen can be a little bit more awkward to deal with if she does end up getting to be the flex Seoul lane here, but if this Renekton is locked in, that's obviously not going to be the case.
We've seen Viegos win this matchup many times.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Rich at all against a Renekton here. Even with the nerf to Viego sustain, he still sustains off champions the same way, and this comp is already pretty strong against Renekton. You have a Xin Zhao for the front line, you can knock him up, Ryze can root him. I'm really, I'm looking at Damwon Kia's draft. I'm like, you're putting a lot of eggs in the early to mid-game basket here with this draft, especially if they go in to the set.
No, it's support Renekton.
Okay.
Obviously. There we go. We figured it out. No, that'll be set support on the bottom side of the map, so not exactly a lot of pressure within the lane. However, you will add a lot of extra CC to the team fight for Damwon Kia. Bit of an eclectic draft from them as we get the Braum.
Yeah, Braum's strong at this. I was thinking we could have had another wacky Morgana support pick. It would have been pretty strong into what Damwon Kia is running, considering the melee front lines. But I'll be honest with you, and I think I've been honest enough to where everyone could really feel my opinion, but I'm really liking Nongshim's draft a lot better.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you're going to have Prio with the Lucian, and Renekton can hold his own in the lane against Viego. But there's so much power scaling in terms of team fights later on for Nongshim. The Viego pick is great in these mid-game skirmishes. Damwon Kia really need to control the objectives early, get that Rift Herald, snowball Showmaker, because like you said, he's going to have Prio no matter what. He could have had Prio against a Fountain Laser in the mid lane.
I think he would too.
But you got to use that Prio to get the early objective control and try to snowball your way into a victory here. Otherwise, later on, it becomes so tough.
Yeah, but, I've got one question for you, Wolf. Who would win out of a piercing arrow and a culling or one door boy?
One door boy, exactly. I think the answer is one door boy.
Yeah, I think so. I think
one little shieldy boy.
Yeah, one little shieldy boy really got this one. But we'll see how the positioning for Kellen is going to go. We saw his Braum was fantastic when they played the Freljordian bottom lane. That's why the Ashe was banned. I know it's crazy seeing an Ashe ban, but the shield bow build that Dr. was going for really did work. And remember, this guy basically invented 200 years in the LCK. He was extraordinarily good on the Aphelios when he debuted. Of course, Aphelios was also extraordinarily good, but now feels a little bit more balanced at least as we hop onto the Rift for game number 1. Damwon Kia taking on Nongshim. Nongshim with a lot of momentum behind them right now against Damwon Kia, who have put the pieces back together also on a winning streak. Looking forward to seeing what happens here so much. This is going to teach us a lot.
Oh, I mean, this is
the power level of our top teams.
This is honestly probably the best game we have all week long.
Yep.
I mean, the T1 series we have on Saturday after today's performance gets a little bit more exciting, but I am really looking forward to seeing, as you said, how this one pans out and how well Rich plays into Khan, because that's a matchup historically he's lost. I think he's 2-9 against Khan historically speaking.
Guess what? Those 2 wins, though, they were the last 2 games that they played against each other. And let's I'll tell you I'll give you the full stats because I've got them here in front of me. So Rich in the last game went 8-0-7 on Lee Sin into Khan's Viego. In game 3, which is the game following that one, if you guys aren't keeping up, is
Game 1 was not their
no, game 1 we try to ignore because it wasn't great, as Rich is going to be fighting Khan here and actually doing a decent job. Canyon over to the side, though, as Rich just decides he wants to get another cheeky stab in. Yes, and in the second game, it was 5-1-4. So I guess all up he went 13-1 and something ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty
impressive.
Yeah. And, you know, into this Renekton matchup, he's got a lot of agency, he's got a lot of potential. I mean, as you can see in the early game, it's like just terrible. Khan's going to have to get level 3 before he can really look to fight this Viego, and even still, it's very
I was
tough.
going to say, like, does he then win?
No, not really, but he can at least hold his own.
Rich is going to let him into the minion wave, which is going to help Khan, even though not quite as much as we've got a 1-0 for Kellen's Braum. In fact,
Dr. undefeated on the Aphelios.
We have a total of 1 loss on the champions in this graphic. Nice work, Nongshim. Haven't been doing a lot of losing this squad. They've been pretty good.
Yep.
As Gori, yeah, he's going to have a rough time against this press the attack Lucian. Gori was standing his ground, yeah. Might just be, I don't know. Gori, what's the game plan here, man?
Well, he's going to need help.
Fighting on the bottom side, as that's a brilliant haymaker to bring Dr. down to 100 health.
Yeah, that's not a great start. And Peanut obviously is still doing camps on the top side of the map. He's been spotted by that ward that was placed earlier at level 1. So right now Showmaker is free to continue to push the issue here. So 2 massively winning lanes here for Damwon Kia, and this is the pressure that they need to have so well in this early game to kind of ride that momentum into the mid game where they get those big advantages.
We'll see whether they can do it. Right now, Dr. struggling to farm these minions underneath the turret, but at least went for the longsword, so has the extra potion.
Yeah. Almost a plate here 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. But this is what happens. This is one of Ghost's best champions as well.
Yes.
Has been like ever since the BBQ Oliver's days. He's always been very comfy, but not ahead by a massive margin, and you'd expect this lane to shove early. As Gori's going to teleport back to the lane. Showmaker sticking around for a little bit longer than he may have wanted, as now Gori looking for it, wants to get that flash, and will get it. Doesn't find the last Q, but that was overstaying your welcome there on Showmaker's side, as Peanut wants to find this one, and he will find Showmaker and stop that back.
Such a great punish from Gori here on Showmaker's just greed straight up, like you mentioned. Oh, get another stop? No.
Decides he doesn't even want to.
But yeah, this ended up being really nice here for Gori, because that's going to relieve a lot of the pressure that he had. They're going to trade teleports, and he actually ends up being ahead 2 CS.
Yep, they're all going to get stunned up here just a little bit, as Dr. can just use that server room Q pretty comfortably. Connect that one. So Nongshim back in pretty good form here on the bottom side, as Showmaker's once again going to phase check. Oh my goodness, walks into the rush. Showmaker's going to get solo killed at 4.5 minutes.
He walks right in.
Oh my goodness, Kellen now looks like he might have caught Beryl, who's gonna try and run away. Oh my goodness, Nongshim getting wins everywhere.
Oh man, Nongshim are having a great start to this game. This is going to be a forced back here onto Beryl. And Peanut's here.
Yeah, looking for Ghost. He has Flash and Heal. So this is going to be a difficult dive if it is going to happen, as Peanut's going to try and pick up the minions. And Ghost is going to try and kill them as quickly as possible. In goes Peanut, doesn't want to waste any time. The heal goes down. There's the flash as Peanut. I don't know whether he's getting out of this one. However, he's going to pick up the first blood.
Yeah, really nice flash there, actually, from Ghost. The positioning of it was really nicely done. Ends up trading it back as Peanut has to take an extra hit there. But yeah, I mean, look, this lane is going well. Bottom lane is going well. You know, all things considered, remember how it started.
Yeah.
We almost had a 3-minute plate go down for Ghost. And then Gory gets first blood. So he's actually winning against Showmaker's Lucian here.
And
as he just walks
the heck
into
out
this.
of it as well, yeah.
He walks right into this, and there's minions on this. Like, you can't do that. Not against the
나이스! 뭐야!
Peanut's like, nice.
바텀
What the
2대야.
hell? And then we watch this one more time as Ghost's flash was really well done. Heals early, flashes from Kellen's skill shot there. But Peanut gonna have to take an extra turret shot for that one, so it does go down.
Yeah, I mean, I think Peanut knew what his end result was going to be as Rich continues to bully the Crocodile. And this is, you know, some of the things that you were talking about in the draft phase, right? Monkia with, you know, some early game pressure champions that may not necessarily get the early game pressure they're looking for, especially here towards the top side as Rich fighting Khan is a dangerous situation.
Yeah, level 6 for both of them, of course, but Rich already used his.
Yep.
So that's a pretty good advantage for Khan.
Yeah, the Dominus definitely very valuable, but it's still a wave in the lead here for Rich, who will be able to pick up a bunch more minions, so might be a 2-wave gap or something like that.
Rich
as
is
things
like,
equalize.
Why did I buy this potion? I'm Viego. Well, you know, Rise is setting up in the brush again with the control ward. I dare you to face check this one this time, Showmaker. You can see it on the mini-map. It's not going to do it.
It's so interesting to me, Wolf, because these two teams have not played a game against one another this season that has gone longer than like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, it has been super one-sided. And you and I were kind of speculating that if this goes to a Game 3, both teams get one dominant win, right? Before
yeah, right.
the third game.
Well, Rich is fighting Khan, or is it the other way around? There's the two flashes. Let's see whether Rich can actually survive this one. Doesn't have his ult available. Trying to keep himself alive, but doesn't manage to do so. As
so
Khan's going to chase him down.
He doesn't, because he used his Heartbreaker earlier. He's in such a rough spot there, because he had the minions too. Like, that was super close if he has his ultimate. Don't know how he lost it earlier, just in some trade. But that's the ult advantage we were talking about, and Rich does get punished for not having it, and that's going to cost him really all the advantages he had on the top side of the map. No teleport here. Peanut.
Bit of a rough one as Peanut looking to come in. Gory's here as well. 4-man dive onto Ghost. No flash, no chance. In this one is Dr. He's got the perfect, he always has the perfect weapons to take down some plates here on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, Beryl is like, why didn't you come with me? Beryl didn't have level 6. If he has 6, it looks different too. Is going to try to hurt Duckdom here a little bit.
Yeah, it's not really going to do too much. As Canyon on vision at the moment. Peanut looking to make his way out. Kellen in position. Peanut will escape from the area. They had no eyes on where Showmaker was, and that's why they were paying so much respect.
So much resource given, or so much resources allocated to the bottom side of the map here for Nongshim, trying to really shut down Ghost. It's really similar to the last series. Obviously, you know, the difference being the champions. As we are going to watch Khan. It's like, I'm going in. And, you know, everything else.
Look at those mechanics.
And he says, top, no flash. And then in this exchange, you know, Ghost goes to the right here because there's no level 6 for the set. And he's hoping, okay, maybe I outlast this, but there's just no way. There's a whole mini wave there. He's dead either way. Probably would have lived a little bit longer if he went to the left side, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, like I was saying before we went to those replays, all the resources for Nongshim are going to the bottom side of the map to give Duckdom extra power to shut down what Ghost can do. You know that's your strong point here. If you think about every matchup of the 3 lanes, the bottom lane is where you are your strongest. Beryl.
Oh dear. Winter's Bite connects. Not going to follow through. As Nongshim on the bottom side of the map are just destroying Darmok here. And we know that as far as being a mascot is concerned, Khan has been fantastic. He's going to have a difficult time this game as Peanut looking for Canyon. He does manage to lock down the Rift. Herald is now Canyon looking to turn it. He's Gwen, remember, has his ultimate available. Showmaker throws through the culling. The door is set up in the wrong direction, unfortunately, and there is the Viego. The team fight. Beryl just comes in and destroys Nongshim's hopes and dreams in the Herald Pit.
There's no reason to fully commit to this Herald Pit as Nongshim, when you're down in this game, your composition, right, is weaker at this stage in the game. And yes, Viego is great at skirmishing. If you have the Aphelios there, with all the damage, you feel great. Speaking of Aphelios.
Yeah, there's the Moonlight Vigil as Dr. Arm looking to try and get this one. Yep, that was all he needed to avoid to try and win this as the flash does come out. And Dr. Arm actually going to be evened out on with the piercing arrow connecting, but that is a flash traded on the bottom side, but he gets a heal for his trouble as well as in comes Beryl yet again. What is this? Facebreaker comes through. There's the cleanse, but he's still dead.
And in two swift moments, two quick decisions from Nongshim, both into
Beryl's back, man. Yeah, Beryl is back.
But with two, snap decisions from Nongshim both times, right? From Dr. Arm alone in that fight on the top side of the map, which means now all 5 players are at fault, technically speaking. You have your entire lead thrown in the waste bin because, yes, Peanut in this isolated exchange, he can force Canyon off. Even Gwen is going to be really annoyed with this fight, especially if Gory's here. But they're kind of outnumbered in terms of the damage output, right? Like, it's a 3v4 fight here, but it's not going to be for long, and 3v4, they still win.
Yeah.
And then Beryl shows up, and it's like, oh, wait, this is Damwon-Kia's early game comp. Extremely strong. What a surprise. What a shock. And it's really frustrating that, for Nongshim here, you lose your lead. And then this happens where you feel like, okay, I'm going to all in on this idea, knowing that Ghost has flash. He has to flash first to avoid the chains of corruption, and then he has no flash for when the set arrives.
Yeah, Ghost, pretty good to be able to get through that one, as Beryl is, Beryl giveth, Beryl taketh away has always been the thing that we talk about, as he's running pretty quickly. Audacious charge from Peanut as, yeah, it's an ult to finish the kill. I like it.
And it's
no messing around. We're going to miss an ult here from Kellen, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save Ghost's life. As Dr. Arm not going to grab the kill as Canyon looking to make his way in. Can he actually get enough needlework done to keep himself alive is the question, and the answer I think is just going to be a no. Peanut locks down that kill as we've got kills going every which way in this particular game. Khan's also dead, but he's going to do a fair bit of work beforehand. Kellen goes golden because Stopwatch, of course, is the best item in the game, and Showmaker is in mid lane.
Yeah, Showmaker getting this gold isn't as impactful as all the gold that's going over to Arise, right, on the bottom side of the map. The 5 assists worth of gold now going over to Kellen. So I think you're very happy with this exchange if you're Nongshim. Yeah, you lose your mid turret, which is actually pretty important for Drake Cryo upcoming, and you gave Showmaker a ton of gold, but Showmaker's impact later on in the game as a Lucian isn't going to be quite the same, as we're going to watch this once again. Beryl just, he got a little bit greedy, but Nongshim have really just put so much into this weak bottom side of the map. And, you clear a ward, you die for it, that's what happens. And unfortunately, this means that Ghost is alone, right? Like, this is the plan all along, is to kill both of them, and now it's just even easier.
They killed 4 people here on the bottom side. It was only Showmaker that survived this engage because everyone just coming in one after the other after the other.
It also meant that if you look at the top side of the map, Rich is like, okay, you can teleport down. I don't need to be there. It relieves all the pressure that he has to deal with Khan. Khan dies for it, and then Rich also gets a plate on the top side of the map. So there's a lot going on here. But I respect the try to salvage the situation for Damwon-Kia because their comp is so strong at these types of skirmishes. Unfortunately, not quite strong enough when you're kind of fighting 2v4 non-stop there.
Yeah. And I think that, I think Beryl will be a lot of power in the later stage of the game. Set CC, of course, is just a thing that will have to be respected here by Nongshim, but the Aphelios factor does make me feel that Nongshim do have a bit of an edge when it comes to getting towards the later stage of the game. They don't have a lot of range on Damwon-Kia's side outside of Ghost, who doesn't have a lot of peel for himself as well, so the Rise is going to get a lot of value.
Yeah, exactly. And also the ability for Ghost to do, hold that thought, Khan could jump over here.
Yep, there is a lot of knowledge on Nongshim's side, so not going to walk into any dangerous situations.
But yeah, like you said, the Varus can do a lot of chip damage, a lot of poke, and even can arguably burst and hit those targets, but Rich...
Yeah,
got a turret here, but he's going up.
That knows exactly what's going on, does Canyon, as Heartbreaker comes on through. Some needlework just to say goodbye. as Canyon will come down and help Showmaker with this bottom outer turret. Showmaker, the one that's a bit all business here today, just trying to get objectives and things like that, instead of just conga lining into the enemy team.
Yeah. With Showmaker having that extra push on the bottom side, the only way for Rich to get out was going top there. They ended up getting the turret, so a lot of objective power. The scariest part is this Aphelios, so like you said, like that's one thing you're going to have to deal with in these upcoming fights, where you don't have the range, so you kind of have to just face roll into the fight, and then Gory exists to stop you, Peanut exists to stop you. Even Rich's stun is going to be decent at peeling the aggression here, so it's going to be execution-based. I don't think, Damo and Kia are behind necessarily, but we're on a nice edge
by
right
like 1,500 golds.
Yeah, in terms of gold, right? But is that enough of an advantage to say that they're ahead? It's like slightly ahead, I would say, but I don't feel like Nongshim, are ahead by any means just because their comp is scaling. These next few moments will determine whether Damo and Kia can be ahead enough, because they have still control over the map at the moment.
Under a minute on the next Dragon. An opportunity for Nongshim to move one step closer to that Seoul point, as Canyon will be able to get some irremovable vision of the Drake area when it does spawn, which is going to be very valuable. And there we go. And also we have to, put down the fact that Canyon is Gwen, right?
Yeah.
Does have a lot of power in the skirmishes as this game goes on.
Yes,
No slouch either, but feels like Gwen is just, few years in advance.
And we saw where Gwen was at in terms of the bottom skirmish there, where she was almost able to hold her own despite being extremely outnumbered. She has a stopwatch now and a Dark Seal, so she is going to be, arguably the most carry-esque champion for Damo and Kia in the front line once these fights do start to commence. And if she can get a few more assists under her belt, then she is going to really be quite powerful. She went for the armor here for the boots.
Yep.
Against this composition, not a shocker.
Surely going to be the priority here on Nongshim's side. It's going to mean that Canyon will be able to lock down this Drake for himself. So Nongshim not really prioritizing the Drake win condition that we've been seeing less and less of a focus on from a lot of our teams outside of Predator Breon, just because a lot of our games have been over before a Soul has even been a question.
The other thing about the Drake priority is that if you are looking to fight it non-stop, if you're a team like Nongshim that's going to struggle at this mid-game against a Renekton comp, a Gwen comp, and when the Gwen's online, like, you can throw the game away at that moment, so you might as well just say, okay, you can have that, we'll take this inferior Rift Herald and try to scale.
Yeah. Well, Gory is not going to get culled this time around as Peanut. Oh, the flash forward. Gory gets himself out of land. Peanut fighting it. Showmaker not going to find it after the flash dash forward. And now Khan, he teleported. He's now looking for more. Beryl trying to save his top laner. Ghost coming on in as well. But you can see Nongshim, they know. And they are going to stop the aggression. No overextensions here. And that's just a pick off for Nongshim.
Oh, and Gory had teleport too. So Nongshim were definitely ready to kind of back up towards that turret and look for a fight if Damo and Kia wanted to press the issue further. But that was such a great bait there from Gory, setting up for Peanut to get a kill. He almost lost his life for it. It was very close. He had to flash, but he just barely survives there. Gory's had a fantastic game. From the solo kill on the Showmaker earlier to his side laning, he's almost caught up in CS to Illusion.
Yeah, it's nuts. He was ahead for quite some time. So really impressive stuff here for Gory. I don't remember the last time that I saw Showmaker get solo killed.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It was maybe Lava with only Orianna like earlier this year.
Yep. As Canyon is going to start off this blue buff, and we've got a lot of just meandering around the river right here. Yep. Not a lot to fight for at the moment, as Baron hasn't even spawned yet, as Gory's going to get found by Khan. But who's found who? As the Crocodile goes down extraordinarily low. And Gory just going to face check that brush again, waiting for some cooldowns, and he'll get him and just kill him.
Wow, that's a big misread from, or rather just miscalculation from
That looked like Gory was just playing with it.
Yeah.
Like toying with it.
He has Oblivion Orb. That's the main thing. If he doesn't have that, then this fight looks different. He also had a stopwatch too, so I think Khan probably didn't press tab, or if he did, because all programmers press tab incessantly, he wasn't really looking at the tab screen when he did. Now he's got Azonia's online, didn't even have to use a stopwatch on that last exchange. As we watch this one more time, a lot of this culling is actually not hit like you called in the play-by-play. Gory has a perfect flash here, sets up the root, and just has enough health to survive.
Survives.
And then Khan's like, oh, okay, maybe I should try to fight this, because you see the rotation up from Beryl and Ghost. And then let's watch this from the vision perspective of Khan. He's like, oh, where is he? He's over here. They both sweep. And then Gory gets the root, Everfrost in. And then when Conqueror procs, it looks like, okay, well, what's Gory doing, man? Like, Conqueror procs, but he has the Oblivion Orb. A lot of that healing's just denied.
Yeah. Just really odd. Also, the Q not quite landing as Khan presses it a little bit early. Is I'm pretty sure what happened.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
He still decides to commit for it, regardless. So, very interesting stuff. We've got a Realm Walk as our Showmaker. He's dead again. No getting out of this one. I'm sorry, my friend.
And Nongshim are really starting to run away with this game, Atlas.
Yeah, they've got a top lane Lucian now, and Rich very comfortable on this one as Baron is alive, but Shirley's going to get some work done here on this inner turret on the top side, and Nongshim looking to extend this lead. It's the first time that they've been in the lead to the tune of about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, and if Damwon Kia try to punish this, I think there's just not enough damage. Like, Nongshim will absolutely turn around, and during all of this, we haven't talked about it because he has been arguably the least impactful person on the map, but Duckdom is just free farm.
Yeah.
Gets his Runins up now. Now that's a huge power spike for the Aphelios going into this next Drake fight in 1 minute. Like, it's hard to think of a scenario where this goes wrong for Nongshim. You know it's going to have to be an overextension, a misread in the fight, but Gory, I mean, imagine how much of a single player difference. I can't think of another player who's made. You slot one player out, you slot one new player in. As Gory has made such a big difference for Nongshim. Like, it's night and day.
Completely huge. You're exactly right. I don't remember the last time there was any addition of a player in the LCK that was bigger than this guy. I mean, not to try and talk down Bait too much, but it just really feels like the whole team it's like a puzzle piece. They've taken out the square peg and put in a round one into the round hole.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. And I think Bay actually does have a future ahead of him. I just think he wasn't ready for the LCK, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or
it just wasn't the right fit for Nongshim. Like, sometimes you need a role player in that mid lane, right? Afrika are doing pretty well, and that's exactly what they have, right?
Okay, this is kind of an awkward spot. Peanut needs to be very careful of being disconnected from the back line here, because he's going to need to help peel when this fight does break out.
Yeah, Rich also off to the side. Flash and Heartbreaker both available. Nongshim will start this one off. Peanut not going to be taking too much damage here from Ghost, as you can see. Rich is going to hop into the mist. And we'll see whether they can burst that one down. It is going to be Chains of Corruption, but it doesn't actually connect onto Peanut or Duckdom, who's just lying in wait.
He's saving that ammo.
Waiting for his opportunity. Yeah, wants to potentially start this one up and does so. Finds the grab at him, even takes the Drake for themselves. As Nongshim, they're not done yet. Beryl tries to turn it around, but more, he's just trying to get Peanut out of the way of the rest of his teammates, but they walk forward anyway. Khan's gonna have to flash away, but he flashes and then dies as Damwon Kia are going to almost get ace. Duckdom was chasing after Ghost, but decides instead that they want to prioritize the Baron. Nongshim Red Force. My goodness, the Noodle Bros are the best, man.
A beautiful
so
fight.
Fun.
Duckdom saves the last part of his Gravitum for his ultimate to go off, hits the big root, and they press the go button. Send this team to Worlds, okay?
Yeah,
like, that was such a beautiful fight against one of the best teams at team fighting in the world. They showed it at the World Championship. They showed it throughout all of spring season and most of summer. And Nongshim just absolutely don't know that their comp has really come online. And in order to make that fight happen, you have to hit all of your skills at the right moment. You actually have to press all your buttons at the same time. Like, everyone has to be on the same page. And look at Duckdom. Look at his ammo here for the Gravity. He's like, wait. Boom! Knocks it in. There's the roots. And then Gory instantly falls up on Showmaker. He's out of the fight. He can't do anything. And then when Beryl decides it's time to turn, they blow him up, and the fight is over from this point on. But they could just easily dismantle Damwon Kia. Such a great fight. And then you see the flash forward as Rich is like, guess what? I got initiation now. Oh, man.
All of the resets, and it's just so comfy. Here for Nongshim, who now have themselves a Baron buff. We're going to get a zoom in on the Pirate Rise, who has just taken control of this game after his solo kill to start things off. Now Rich, he's going to chase after Khan here, and he's even going to Heartbreaker forward. Yeah, this is a real dead Crocodile. There's not a lot that he can do. Gory's even here to potentially grab the last hit, and he is going to do so. That is a Rune Prison for the last hit to take away the solo kill from Rich, which is a little bit unfortunate.
It's a little bit unfortunate, but look, Rise is getting insane value.
Yeah.
He's got his Archangels up now, and I mean, how do you lose this game from here? Like, all the bars turn red.
I don't think they do. Wolf, I think the answer to that question
They just did. That was the most fragile moment for Nongshim, was that last Drake fight. Like, that was the one fight I think Damwon Kia wins, and then maybe they could start to get more control over the map. And yeah, their comp doesn't scale as well, but they can just use vision control and things like that, pigs. But not anymore.
Well, Peanut is still going to respect enough to flash away here. As let's see whether he can actually take. No, he can't. As it's a teleport in from Rich, but he might suffer the same fate here as Canyon dashes over the wall, still desperate to try and get Damwon into a winning position. But while that's all being done, Gori's pushing the bottom lane. We've got Nongshim trying to take down this outer turret in the mid lane as well, which has taken quite a bit of work.
Yeah, it really has, you know, because even though Gori was doing so well in lane, you know, Showmaker left this earlier and there was a big group up nonstop for Damwon Kia. Okay, Barrel.
Yep, Barrel is, I'm not sure what he was doing there, but he's real dead.
That's an MSI Barrel right there, but I think the idea was to try to flank Showstopper in.
Well, he definitely successfully flanked.
Yeah, I think if there's not as much Nongshim right there, maybe it ends up looking really cool.
If there was like half a cup, perhaps?
Yeah.
Or something like that. You can't have the whole cup remaining, though, as the Chains of Corruption will land, and now Damwon Kia trying to get their engagement working. Heartbreaker gets Rich out to safety, and Gori just obliterates the handbag. Canyon tries to escape as Kellen feels like he's done enough work, and I'd agree, my friend. I think you're allowed to get out of there, as Doc Darm's going to be able to get at least the Zhonya's out of Canyon, but he is absolutely dead after that, and the kill goes over to the Aphelios as well, as Damwon Kia continues circling the drain.
And the timing here for Nongshim is so perfect for an easy clear on some of these wards, reset, and buy items before you get your next Mountain Drake, which is going to be Soul Point. I mean, Damwon Kia, if they lose anybody here, this could just be game. Just forget the Drake.
Yeah. My goodness, 9.
Well, this is a beautiful game.
Yeah, Showmaker is going to cull Peanut, give him a bit of a back massage that he doesn't really want. He's going to ult. May not have died there anyways. The flash forward, Ghost looking to lock down Peanut, and he is definitely dead. Just in the blender. And as Gori picks up a phase rush and runs away, so Nongshim are going to have to back out of this one.
They might still be able to do the Drake, though. I think we're kind of reaching that point. Damwon Kia do not want to face check this. They have no vision, which Nongshim have confirmed. Look at they know that Showmaker's going to check, so he stepped out of the brush. Now they're back and he has no idea.
Oh no, does he want this minion wave? No, he's going to walk away from it. Jonas Strong, you can see he's like, he's going to check the brush, but he ain't going to check the brush.
He's smart. He's just as smart as Nongshim are to dodge his W there.
Indeed.
Okay. I think this is
actually really, really cool because Peanut respawning now. I think a gank brush is the way that you potentially win a fight, right? Because 4v5 is too hard. Everyone's just going to go back. They're going to cut their losses, give up this Drake. It's 2 apiece now. So no soul points for anyone. So Peanut overextending there was actually pretty horrible for Nongshim.
Yeah, no, that cost them a lot of their momentum in terms of Drake control. Now, it's not going to be a pick that suddenly makes your comp scale better for Damwon Kia, but it is certainly going to be, you know, a massive boon for the control of the map. Just watch Gori's burst damage is absolutely absurd. Like, just going back to this fight, which is a long time ago now, but it's just fun to watch Nongshim dunk on people when they're this far ahead. Yeah. I guess that's the idea about this replay.
Yep.
And then Peanut gets picked, as he just got really greedy here. Crescent guards at a pretty poor timing there as well. Definitely could have used it earlier to keep his health bar up.
The flash forward from Ghost is like always going to kill him there, right?
Yep. Don't think he gets out of that one in any case because he went for 2 aggressive pokes.
Yep. What the heck was that
Yeah,
noise?
I'm not really sure.
Okay. Was that Braum?
It's like the Observer actually is running like Pokemon Blue in the background. That was one of the calls.
Like, what? It's like Psyduck from the original games or something? I don't know. That was very odd. If someone knows what that was, please let me know. So then I can attribute my nightmares to something. As
I think it was definitely a skin. I don't know if I want to know which one.
No, it was. I think it was Braum. Because he was the one on the screen at the time, but look, I could be wrong. Seraphs and the Forbidden Book completed here for Gori.
Yeah, and he's looking for a death cap to close it all out.
Oh man, he is so extraordinarily strong.
It's crazy how even if he gets dove upon, he just like kills the Renekton. He gets dove upon by a Gwen, just roots and laughs as he walks away.
Yeah, I mean that's what Rise is so good at, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's a pile on comp, You just say, oh, thanks for your close proximity. Allow me to kill you.
That's why he's risen so much in this meta to the top, and is one of the more common mages you see in the mid lane because he's just so good into comps like this that don't scale well, that don't have great range, that are so melee based.
Yeah.
Which is why Damwon needed to snowball a bigger lead. And that last fight that Nongshim, won on that Drake pit was just the last nail in the coffin for setting this comp backwards here, as Damwon, yeah, they picked Peanut and they got a little bit control of the map. They got one more Drake, but it doesn't make their comp 5v5 any better.
Well, that is the Winter's Bite connecting onto Showmaker, but Dom has the lowest range possible with his weapons, so he's not going to be able to follow up with anything there.
Rich just being a bit of a mobile ward here.
Indeed. Goes and checks out his purple friend in that pit.
Showmaker.
Oh dear, full vision available for Nongshim as Peanuts. He's spotted his opportunity. Oh, misses the flash. Showmaker's able to get out of there with just the Relentless Pursuit.
Yeah, that's actually really nice that he gets out without having to use the flash.
Yeah, misses the stun. I said misses the flash. He nailed the flash.
Yeah.
Didn't get what the flash was for after the flash.
I think your statement's
it's somewhat sort of made.
He misses the flash stun, so
yeah.
the flash is a big miss in that regard. Well, they all reset here, and even with flash down for Rich, you don't feel great about trying to take any control over the map. Nongshim are just pushing these lanes in.
God, he does. Just seeing the damage on the minions just gives you some weird feelings about what's going to happen potentially in a team fight if Gory is let to go off.
Now Peanut actually doesn't die ever because he has his Guardian Angel. If he dies, he just pops back up in the team fight and looks around as Gory's already killed everyone, and he's like, well, good thing I had my GA. The rest of my team is willing to kill the rest of Damwon in that moment. If he gets focused down, there's not much Damwon can do after that, right? So the reason why Nongshim are not in a position to end the game is because Damwon comp works very well defensively.
Oh, okay. Going to miss another ult here out of Kellen. However, Showmaker's also going to get stunned as Dom seems to be able to do anything from about 3 screens away as this Aphelios.
You have to respect that if you walk into Damwon, their composition doesn't have to close the gap on you. So that's why Nongshim are just taking only fights on objectives and trying to use those objectives to then push the lanes. So yeah, it's kind of this passive game. And this is an opportunity for Damwon to try to trade Seoul point for Baron if they can remove the vision. And right now, there's not a whole lot of vision on this Drake. I went full Korean there for a second. There's not a whole lot of vision on this Baron pit. So they might actually get away with this if Nongshim does not have the presence of mind to check this.
They do have a ward in the pit, I believe, Nongshim. Oh, no,
I don't think so.
Cleared. Kellen's going to go over and get one right now, ruin the party here of Damwon, but
They're too late, I think.
Yeah, we'll see whether they can actually get there in time. You can see that Showmaker's just going to cull the Baron, but the Realm Warp is going to get Nongshim in there, and it's a split call from Damwon. They do manage to secure the Baron, but can they win the fight? Is Canyon going to get himself over the wall, and they're not even going to be able to pick him up? The re-engage happens onto Khan, and if they lose just the Renekton, this is 100% worth, and it looks like that may not even happen.
He's going to get away?
What a disaster.
Completely miss out on vision control over the Baron pit, and that is so important at this stage of the game, especially because if you're trickling in like that, you cannot contest. I mean, they were able to get the Realm Warp off and get there, but it was just too late.
And no one's dead.
Yeah.
They have one ultimate, right? So they're probably not going to take this fight around the Drake, but now Rich is going to get dove on by Canyon.
Power of Gwen. Yeah. Showing itself here. They will get the Drake.
Okay, Rich is going to be able to dash himself out of the way. So, not going to be too worried. In fact, Rich is only like 10 CS ahead of Canyon.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
The Baron power here is actually potentially enough to get Damwon to win this game. Because now you have to engage into this comp like I was saying, and that's when Damwon have an opportunity to fight straight up 5v5. This is actually really scary. Nongshim might have actually just lost this game off of no Baron vision.
They just handed Damwon tempo.
And you know how we were talking about how difficult it is for Nongshim to actually push advantages when there's no objective up. Like, Damwon, even if they don't get much more than this inhibitor, they've bought themselves another 5-6 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
And the longer the game goes, the more, even though their composition has a range problem, the more volatile it becomes. As we see this Realm Warp once again, and Peanut is just not able to get the smite off. The health is just a little bit too high, too well smited by Canyon.
Yep, it was a 50-50.
Yeah, they lose the 50-50, and then everybody gets out. It was really well played here from Damwon.
I found it surprising that it was just Peanut that took the Realm Warp. I kind of thought that it would have been a more of Nongshim's style of delivery. But
also, the chase there onto Khan probably wasn't the best way to punish. If they had run upwards, they could have trapped the rest of Damwon Kia, but they chased one of the slipperiest, toughest to kill members, which allowed everyone else to escape, and then Khan also got out. So,
yeah.
I think a little bit of tunnel vision there, unfortunately for Nongshim. But the vision problem was the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, you can see, trying to defend this inner turret, going to be a little bit of a struggle here for Nongshim. As, yeah, Piercing Arrow going to be a pretty good siege tool for Damwon Kia. Now that the shoe's on the other foot, we're able to see what Damwon's comp is capable of. Breakable now on, sorry, unbreakable, now on cooldown, as there's the Moonlight Vigil, connects onto Ghost. Doesn't do a heck of a lot of work.
Yeah, not a big one.
No.
That's actually a big cooldown here for Nongshim to lose. They're trying to set Rich for the flank.
Yeah, but he's just going to get his face broken. That's the Heartbreaker as well, as he's not going to be able to survive this one. Canyon, he might be in trouble as well, but instead he's just going to try and kill Doctom. There is a stopwatch on this guy as he flashes away. Look at Gory's damage! My goodness, the damage was just insane. He takes down the Gwen first. He's still on pretty high health. As, yeah, Beryl able to help lock down one. Gory is just an absolute machine, though. They have to be so careful. Good stopwatch here from Khan. Can Gory actually lock him down, though, is the question. The answer is absolutely yes. It's another kill for the Rise. Picks up a second and a third. There's the Realm Warp. Looking for Showmaker now, who has to be very careful.
Showmaker's playing a bullet hell game right now.
Yeah, this is so difficult.
He is going to be able to get away. Nongshim will have to reset now, defend. But what a fight that was. And even when Damwon Kia has all the advantages in the book, their Baron buff, you know, the pushing power here on this inhibitor, it doesn't matter when Gory can just look at you and you die. I mean, look at these items he has.
Yeah, no, he's got 6 items. I wonder when he's going to sell the boots. Maybe when his flash comes back up or something like that.
Rich makes a pretty huge mistake here, though, trying to look for the flank, especially when Doctom does not have his ultimate up. And Canyon is immortal as he approaches, right, because he's Gwen. But then Gory just doesn't care. Gory's like, hello, if anyone is near me, they won't be for very long, their health bars will disappear. And, I mean, it's just insane how much he does. Like, Showmaker's like, oh my god.
Yeah, Khan actually played that really, really well, getting on top of Doctom, taking him out of the fight. Yes, it's very hard to fight into this Rise, and they did not win. However, it's not going to be the end of the game or anything like that as we check out Gory and how he navigated this one.
I mean, he flashes over the wall to escape, but also kill Khan. And then, I mean, there's just nothing he can do.
An instant quadra?
Yeah.
타버렸어요.
Or was that just a triple?
Oh,
did he just call himself?
He's like, he's wasted. Yeah, I wasted my ult.
Oh no.
But you know what? I think we'll forgive him. He's already got it back online, and this is the fight to really. I don't want to say end the game because again, Damwon Kia's comp is hard to push into, but if you add all the shields on top of this composition for Nongshim, how do you ever kill Gory, especially when he has Zhonya's up?
And against lethality, Varus, it makes it so hard for Ghost to even exist in this game if there's a Mountain Soul on Nongshim.
Exactly.
28 seconds.
Really hurts Showmaker too.
Oh yeah, although he is a crit 80 carry and he's already got the armor pen, so he's going to be feeling a little bit better. However, still not good.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it limits his ultimate's power in a lot of these situations where you want to chip away. You don't get through much but the shields. Nongshim need to be careful. They don't have vision here once again.
Yep, Gory might be engaged on, but instead he decides just to try and kill Canyon. Let's see whether he can actually make that one happen. As Beryl pushes him into the wall, but doesn't get him over it, which could be a problem. Gory goes golden, and now the engage happens. Khan looking for the Rise, and they eventually manage to take him down. It's a trade of 1-for-1, but that is huge damage. Now missing. Ghost starting to pop off on this one as well, as we've got the resets. Oh my goodness, Richie turns into Beryl. May not be the opportune target, however, he's trying to turn it, and Rich finds his moment. Canyon versus Doctom now, and let's see who wins the 1v1 or whether they even take it. As Doctom's looking for the Drake, and Canyon's looking to push for the inhibitor.
Canyon, I don't think, can actually win this fight, unfortunately, so he's just going to try to push for the inhibitor, like you said. Doctom, because he's occupied with the Drake, is not going to be able to, you know, shut him down, but he can't actually kill the inhibitor because by the time he gets there, you know, obviously the backs will come through. or the respawns will come through. But this was a small positional mistake from Nongshim. Right? We're watching all vision right now, but they actually had only sweeper vision on the top side of this, and Gory was way too aggressively positioned. And if he doesn't stopwatch perfectly right there, he basically dies to Barrel's true damage there on the Haymaker. He still lives for a long time, and so many resources on him. Duckdom's at full health right now. So he's just like, okay, well, thank you. And then Rich gets his first reset, and then it's just a field day for the Diego.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Ghost has had a really hard game. I mean, this is not an easy comp to play Varus with because there's not really much else range-wise for your team or any follow-up. So you're always, like, dancing with death to try to even do damage.
I mean, Ghost played that last fight extraordinarily well, to be perfectly honest. I was very impressed by his positioning and being able to do a lot of work there, as we've got 6 items for Showmaker now. It's Realm Warp, not going to be taken as now Khan is just going to throw his life away. Docton's going to be able to pick up that kill, and could this just be the anticlimactic end to this game?
I think so. Definitely some errors on both sides here, but Nongshim's
okay, now Rich is going to find Showmaker, and he is well and truly dead. Wins becomes Lightning, and that is going to be another potential reset for Rich. He's possibly going to be able to find it here, and yes, he's just resetting all over everything. Peanut going to be able to grab that kill, as on the bottom side of it, it's going to be the tidy up. That's the ace, and that is going to be the game for Nongshim. It almost looked like Damwon Kia were going to be able to claw their way back. It was an extremely fun game, but it's going to be Nongshim in the end.
Nongshim are going to take it in the end. They had the better late game comp. The early parts of the game did not go Damwon Kia's way. Gory getting a solo kill on Showmaker, who was always where he needed to be, with the exception of being a little bit out of position in that last fight. Duckdown was given so much room to breathe, so much room to farm freely and scale up. And this is the Nongshim that everyone is excited about. If you're kind of one of those guys who only watches the good series, you know, you're starting to get a little bit more interested in watching these Nongshim games. You're like, I stayed up for the T1 series. I'll see if Nongshim stand a chance against Damwon Kia. They crushed Damwon Kia in this first game, especially the early game. Like you said, there were some opportunities for Damwon to claw back, but Rise, late game, all the items.
Yeah. And Gory is now going to be even with Dove, I think, at the top of the POG standings. After a performance like that, I think there's absolutely no way that he doesn't get 12 out of 12. That was just absurd. Being able to solo kill Showmaker first, then dying twice in the series, and killing... You got like 20 kills that game or something?
It was ridiculous.
It looked like we were watching a solo queue game. It was insanity.
Yeah.
And yes, Nongshim had some trouble closing out the game. They gave away a Baron because of poor vision control. There were certainly some ups and downs. However, it was a lot of fun.
The team fighting from Duckdom, especially that Drake fight that I keep referencing, like that was, I think, the cleanest team fight I've seen from Nongshim in the org's history. Like, it was just so clean, right? Like, yeah, they have certain advantages. I don't know which fight we're going to watch. Okay, we're going to watch the pick on the Khan.
I like how you talk about the org's history. I assume you include team dynamics.
Yes, including dynamics. Because, like, same org, different sponsor.
Yeah, right.
But this is one of those moments where he's like, okay, you can avoid the Realm Warp, but you can't avoid us just not taking walking at you. And that's the beginning of the end here in this final moment. As Showmaker is just caught. He already got shut down in the previous fight. So I think this is just a standard kill onto him. And then Rich is like, oh, time to be in Viego.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look, the fight was... The game was basically over when Khan is dead because there's no more front line for this team anymore. But we'll watch it, and it looks cool, and it's flashy, and there's a Crab Rave.
Yeah, but in the meantime, there was a Rise on Aphelios killing someone else. I think it was Canyon on the bottom side of it. And,
let me see that damage.
Yeah.
Ooh!
40k is not bad. It was 40 minutes, so it's 1,000 damage a minute. Basically, it's like 900 and something.
This is going to break a lot of Gory's stats. Next time he's in the key player matchup, some of those are going to be #1 across the board after this game.
I mean, Canyon also did a fair bit of damage on the Gwen. I just felt like the Damwon Kia draft lacked a bit of cohesion.
Yeah.
And Nongshim, from the beginning, we were pretty excited about it. However, we saw that there were certainly some ups and downs. There were some range issues, so they found that they couldn't necessarily siege as well as they might have otherwise wanted to. But if you get a Mountain Soul, who really minds about all of that?
Yeah. I mean, the early game, there was some flounderings for Nongshim as well, but when it mattered most, they kept their team together. They fought extremely well 5v5.
Indeed. So we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 2.
없어 레넥 이 없어.
네, 국밥.
나이스.
미드?
미드 가자 미드.
미드 바로?
야 이거
바로
이렇게
막아.
가보자. 이렇게 가볼게.
자 미드 3차 깨.
미드 깨 봐봐. 나 살짝 봐줘.
오케이.
대시 빠졌고.
야 스톱. 루시안 봐줘. 나 이쪽으로 갈게. 이쪽으로 갈게.
루시안 잡았어. 끝내자.
이거 나 리드 할게 나는.
아니 쌈 봐줘 얘들아.
바로 쓰. 방패 들게.
가보자.
그래 잡았어.
끝났다.
나이스.
미안하다 너무. 미안. 나이스. 아 네 재밌었다.
재밌게 했어.
근데 힘들다 딜록치 이거.
내가 우리 발언 턴에 라인 문매를 좀 잘못한 듯? 우리가 2차 줄 필요가 없어서
내가 안 돌아가냐 갑자기. 알지 않나. 원래 잘 돌아갔어.
나이스. 계속 이렇게 싸우자.
In Week 5 LCK news, the LCK shop is now open for business. A quick review of LCK Summer Round 1. The release of the 156th champion, Akshan, and the LCK's move to audience-less matches starting this week. Hello everyone, this is Junghyun Lee, and welcome to LCK Weekly Newsfeed. Now for Week 5 LCK news. LCK's official store, LCK Shop, is now open. On July 7th at 7 p.m., with a lucky number 7, the LCK Shop officially opened. The LCK Shop, together with brand licensing experts ShowLab, have opened the LCK's official merchandise shop. Current items on pre-order are keyboards, mouses, mousepads, and other gaming gear. And items like masks, tumblers, clothes, and more are already for sale. We would like to inform fans that the LCK Shop and the Riot Store are operated separately. The LCK Shop will only sell merchandise for only the LCK and the 10 LCK teams. And global fans, don't fear. The LCK Shop currently ships to 40 countries around the world. If you're an LCK fan, don't miss out on the LCK merch. We can't wait to see everyone showing off their gears. Next in LCK news, to mark the end of Summer Round 1, let's take a look at what has happened so far this summer split. Round 1 of this fierce LCK Summer split is already complete. In Round 1, Gen.G earned first place with a 7-2 record. But in their last two matches, their losses against Tamankia and T1 left an unfortunate ending to the first round. On the opposite side, DRX took the W in their last match of Round 1 against Fredit Brion. It was a very sweet first victory of summer. In Round 1, two players, Fredit Brion Lava and Hanwha Life Esports Chovy, earned pentakills, both while playing Akali. It was an eventful summer Round 1, and keep watching to see how Round 2 will play out. Next is some unfortunate news. Following the raised social distancing guidelines in Korea, the LCK starting this week will be operated without audience. This summer split began together with the fans after a long time apart. However, with Korea entering heightened social distancing regulations, the LCK must momentarily continue without an audience during matches. We hope our fans stay healthy and safe during this break, and we already can't wait to be together at Lowell Park again. Finally, on June 23rd, the new champion, Akshan, will hit the rift. Following Gwen as the 156th champion, Akshan the Marksman has been announced. In the League of Legends lore, Akshan is part of the Sentinels of Light along with Lucian and Senna, who stand against Viego. With this background, his skill reveal has caused an uproar. Akshan carries a hook shot and
Welcome back to the second analyst desk of the night. We are kicking off with Damwon Kia versus Nongshim Radforce. We're having a bit of a quicker run here. Just we mentioned in the weekly newsfeed with the audience last LCK matches. But what's your take on the draft? So both teams actually decided to, pay attention to the mainstream picks, and also some of the target bans were also looking really flashy here. Especially that Ziggs pick targeting the Ghost performance in these days was really on point. I think both teams prepared for this matchup specifically so well. So I can't really tell that who got the draft edge, but at the same time, shout out to both teams for preparing for this match so well. Tomkins and Nautilus were banned out on the side of Damwon Kia. So Set actually has the agency to play more aggressively, but there was a mistake in the laning phase from Damwon Kia's bottom duo. The snowball was actually on the side of Nongshim Radforce. I think Damwon Kia did expect the brown pick to come as the last pick. And looking at the 2-on-2 on the bottom lane, Set definitely can outplay Braum in terms of the damage output and also the initiation or engage tool that he has. But Braum is a champion that can also, be so solid into Set, but Set could be a really effective counter pick into Sinjao and Diego as well, kind of denying their entrance in the team fight, but that was not the case that based on what we saw from two teams in game number 1. And I think we had a lot of actions in this game, having the most kills in the summer split. And Gory started off this game with a kill, solo kill on the mid lane. So let's take a look at this mind game pulled off by Gory. Just as Showmaker TP'd back to lane, he walks behind, trying to deceive Showmaker to believe that he was actually resetting near the turret. So he made Showmaker to walk up to deny the back, and then he locks in a perfect combo in order to secure that clean solo kill onto Showmaker. And that's the power of Rise, but at the same time, Lucian is a champion that can easily stop the back with its W skill, but Rise actually read this kind of a pattern like a book, and he was able to counter that play by winning the mind game between two mid laners. And that was the start of having Gory his own show on Rise in this game. It was definitely a Rise montage in this game, and that was what sparked everything. And after that, Showmaker, because he lost a trade so bad in the early game, he really wanted to stop the back coming from Rise, but Gory managed to play out the mind game so on point that he was able to get his car started. Now let's take a look at this replay where Damwon Kia and Nongshim were fighting around the dragon. Nongshim was able to secure the dragon, and they tried to, get vision around the jungle. So they knew that Gwen was looking for her reset, so Nongshim makes a rotation down on the bottom lane for a turret dive. And Damwon Kia thought this fight was already over, and they sent over the Lucian to the mid lane. And this was the second turret dive he had in this game, and as a Varus, this was a very unpleasant play. You got Varus set bottom duo, and you are getting turret though? Well, that's not the best case scenario or something that you would expect with these two picks you got. So Renekton also looked to find a TP to counter against this play, but Varus got popped a lot faster than he expected. So everyone was so out of order and they were so disconnected, so Nongshim Radforce was able to pick up kills after kills after kills. Nongshim, at this point of the game, they were able to solidify their lead based on the information that Canyon just reset to base, and they didn't look for an defensive or maybe a very macro-wise play. They actually look to go for their kills on the bottom lane. And Nongshim Radforce is the one picking up the victory over Damwon Kia, and our player of the game will be Gory. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a 12 out of 12 and 14 kills, 2 deaths and 8 assists. 981 DPM on Rise. And that mind game, just like we highlighted earlier on, was so on point, and this turret dive was also enabled with the lane priority that Gory had. Peanut, his counter gank play was so on point as well. The team or coming up from this mid and jungle duo, it's getting better and better, and Khan here as well. I guess he didn't really see it coming because Rise usually, even at this level, they were even in level, so he didn't really expect this champion to have this kind of a massive damage output. And Nongshim this time around, they were able to keep shutting down Showmaker, one of the centerpiece of the side of Damwon Kia. It looked like Nongshim knew Showmaker will be moving forward and moving aggressively in order to keep this team online. And this was pretty much over for Nongshim Radforce, securing their solid position in this game. And Gory is back on the top here in the LCK POC standings of the summer split. He is tied first together with Dove. We are only seeing the solo laners up here dominating the league. Gory is the unanimous POG on the side of Nongshim with that Rise performance. And I'm looking forward to seeing his thumbnail on the LCK YouTube channel as well, so don't miss out on that later in the game. And we are heading into game number 2 between Damwon Kia and Nongshim Radforce. It was more like a stomp from Nongshim. Let's see if this can be repeated.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as per usual, for the translation of the analyst desk. And yeah, we'll see whether it is going to be a rather short evening with a repeat performance from Nongshim, or whether it's going to go the same way as our last Damwon Kia versus Nongshim series, which was very back and forth with, you know, it doesn't really matter. All that matters really is who gets the early advantages.
And who gets the last laugh at the end of the series. And, you know, the last series was very one-sided, and there was a huge draft discrepancy. This first game, there was still a solid chance that Damwon Kia snowballed an early lead and won that game, but we got to later parts, and Nongshim actually played as a 5-man unit. They just didn't have much of a chance, but it was a long game. It was a closer game than I think it even should have been, because there were some small mistakes and some great punishes from Damwon Kia. But as we go into game number 2, let's see if we see the same draft twice, because Damwon Kia did choose blue side going into game 2, and if we see a very similar style between these two, it means Damwon Kia once again get another chance to control that early game. But I think we're going to see big sweeping changes.
Yeah, I think that the draft isn't going to make a repeat, but we'll have to see how it does go, because of course the analyst desk didn't think that there was too much wrong with the draft. They thought it was mainly based on execution. I think we disagree.
Yeah, I tend to disagree.
Yeah.
There was an execution problem, but it's a harder draft to execute because of the draft differences.
Yeah. And I also think that, you know, the Varus without enough peel can be exploited. And
yeah, as we saw.
Just a lot of power in the Aphelios and Rise in the later stage of the game, as was demonstrated by the 1000 DPM Rise, which shouldn't necessarily be a thing that ever really happens. But let's see how it does change, as the first ban will once again be the Thresh, and I think that that is something worthy to keep.
Yeah, I don't think Nongshim have to change anything. It's really Damwon Kia who have to change it up, and then it might be time for Renekton to go. It might be time to move on a little bit, because teams are clearly super well versed against Renekton right now, even though he is very strong. Khan is, I think, our most winning Renekton still.
Wow, it will be the Rise ban.
And that's kind of funny, considering that if it's not a comp that's strong into Rise, like, you don't even want to necessarily do this, but or a comp that Rise is strong into, rather, I should say.
Yeah.
And see if the Diana is a ban here again, because I think it was a smart one. They take away the illusion, like, okay, well, you can stop us from getting the solo kill Rise, but we'll stop you from having that lane pro. And I think this means Canyon should get his Diana first pick.
Yeah, it could be the Diana, could be the Xin Zhao. Damwon Kia might want to opt in for that one as well, and it looks like that's where Canyon is heading. It does mean that Peanut will be able to answer with the Diana though, so I actually don't mind this.
The problem
for Nongshim
is if you go into Diana here, it means that the Xinjiao Lulu response is a little bit stronger. It was a really common response early on in the season. It's not something that Nongshim likes to play. So, ooh, this is a completely different response entirely.
Don't mind the Karma idea. They can flex that into, a couple of different lanes. 3 technically, but I don't know whether Rich would want to be playing that on the top side.
Karma Aphelios.
Yeah, Karma Aphelios could certainly just be locked in here for a lot of flexibility and consistency, as Doc Dum's Aphelios is so impressive. And now Damwon Kia, they get to show us what these first few priorities are going to be.
I mean, considering the Karma's already on the board, I think Lulu is a really strong pick for Xinjiao. Plus, you have the ability to match Shirelia's later on in the game. Like Kog'Maw Lulu, it's a perfect way to do it. So this is a great adaptation from Damwon Kia, and we're going to look at a completely different game here than what we saw in the first one. Such a great response, but now you have to figure out, do we want to try to also scale up with this as Nongshim, or do we want to try to shut this down?
And also, do they want to lock away the Diana here, or do they want to take a little bit of a different route for Peanut?
I think
Lee Sin still available, something that they could opt in for, as we are going to be putting the Karma in a solo lane by the looks of things, as there's Leona locked in.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Gonna help maybe allow them to snowball the lane, but it's hard with Lulu there to support. I think another great pick here potentially for Nongshim is the Nidalee, but I don't know if it'll actually make it through the second banning phase, because if you end up hitting Kog'Maw with a spear in the later parts of the game, it makes it difficult to play the game. In fact, they banned the Braum.
Ooh, expecting Lulu in a solo lane. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think we might end up getting that Enchanter mid-matchup.
Could be a thing. Still. Possible that Beryl picks up the Lulu. Doesn't really feel like a Beryl champion, so I can understand the idea. Is the Olaf going to be taken away first? Benefits very well from the Karma, as we know.
Yeah, and can run through the Wild Growth, can run through Xinjiao very easily.
Yep.
Get on top of the Kog'Maw, do a lot of nasty things, can also control the early Drake. That's something that Olaf does quite well. Viego. So again, kind of expecting this Lulu to be in the mid lane.
And also expecting Rich to opt in for something else.
Yeah, you know what? This draft could pivot completely for Nongshim, where they can run, because Renekton's still up, you can Renekton Nidalee here, actually, to close it out.
I mean, you could, in theory. And I wouldn't mind something paired with a Jace or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead, potentially, as there's Gwen to be taken away.
Let's see where they want to go with this. I'm leaning towards Nidalee being the best option here.
Rumble and Diana are both up.
Yeah, but into this composition, it's so hard to pull that off. I mean, the Rumble is going to be able to do a lot of damage, but where's your follow-up? You don't have a lot of ways to go, okay, well, I'll get the last part of this.
Well, there's part of where the follow-up could be.
Sure.
The Gnar is going to be there. And, of course, Leona, Gnar, Rumble, it's something that we've seen find a fair bit of success. But I understand what you're saying, like, this death ball of DK's composition at this point in time is certainly something that will be difficult to contend with.
I think this comp needs a little bit more burst, Nongshim's, to get through all of this. And this Twisted Fate gives you a lot of map control. Looks like it's going to be the top Lulu.
Oh no. Could still be the support Lulu, of course. As Jace going to be locked in for Khan.
Yeah,
that is certainly one of his favorites and works extraordinarily well into the Gnar, as now you can see a sly grin on Gori's face.
Well, this bottom lane is going to be very boring, but okay. Not going to go for burst damage, going to look for just hard engage, right? I mean, you have the Gnar. I like it a lot more since we have the Gnar. And, I mean, you look at all of Damwon Kia's comp, like, outside of the Xinjiao, it's kind of squishy in general. In terms of what you can dive upon. So Lulu only gets one Wild Growth. So she only gets one chance to save somebody when the Gnar comes through, has a really big ultimate. Diana has the Moonfall follow-up. Aphelios is getting those Gravitas off. So, I mean, it works out. I think considering that there's no counter, quote-unquote, to the Diana here, yeah, you could gold card her, but I mean, I think she's not going to be the first one to go in. It's going to be the Gnar who is the first one to go in.
Yeah, you'd sort of be hoping so, depending on whether or not Damwon Kia can really keep their eye on that Gnar bar and get to a position where they have the effective poke out, right? There's wildcards, there's you know, the Q from the Jace as well, so there is a fair bit of poke, not to mention the living artillery, and Ghost could actually go AP Kog'Maw if he wanted
Yeah,
to.
certainly an option, considering the compositions.
Yep.
Didn't know we'd be seeing Khan's Jace. It does sneak through this draft, and it's going to be up against the Gnar, right? So that's one of the big X factors here we haven't talked about. We talked a lot about front-to-back team fighting and what these supports are going to do. Obviously, Gory being a mid-lane support in this case, but Rich is going to have to hold his own against Khan's Jace. Like, this is a huge test for him. If he does not end up getting bulldozed, bullied in the top lane, end up dying, you know, isolated deaths, one or two of them, I think there's a real fighting chance for Nongshim to win this series 2-0. But if he does fall behind, you know, yeah, it's Rich turning to the old form we don't want to see.
Yeah, the Rich that we've gotten used to, but not necessarily the one that we enjoy getting used to, is the B-More to come out here for Ghost. I'm a bit of an old soul when it comes to Kog'Maw skins, so this isn't my personal favorite, but it is very, very cute.
Yeah.
As Canyon just hanging around in this area. We're not going to see too much as far as the level 1s, but we are just going to see a face check as Canyon. He's going to have to flash as Peanut. What was that? Flashed the wrong direction, but still that's first blood.
Yeah, I mean, this needs to stop happening. The amount of value you get from that ward is pretty huge, and you get a ton of information, but if you just face check it alone and die, then sometimes you literally lose the game. So,
did Peanut just flash over the wall instead of warding over the wall? I don't know why Peanut flashed it.
I have to watch it again when we probably will. But
yeah.
First blood goes to Rich, which is, I think you'd rather have that on Peanut, but it's still, you know, still pretty good lead here, and Canyon is not going to find himself like just losing his jungle and starting to just absolutely get outpaced, which is something that can happen.
Yep.
And you know, this mid matchup is going to be pretty boring, but at least we get to see the Dom 1 skin.
Yep, should be pretty free for Showmaker just to, you know, get to a position where those wildcards are going to be clearing the waves effectively enough so that he can get these roams happening. As we're going to have a look at it again.
Let's watch this one more time.
Oh, watch Peanut and where he decided he wanted to go. As, he just fail flashed. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought he was actually over the wall, so never mind.
Yeah, it was just a bit of an oopsie.
And also...
와드 박으려는 거. 너네끼리 봐. 이거 보자.
Oh god.
아, 씨.
He almost said the bad word on TV, but he didn't.
Oh no. That's a whoopsie.
Yeah, sometimes we don't censor those quickly enough. There's been a few slips. At least he didn't finish it. He knew that one was going on air.
he didn't really swear in English, and this is the English broadcast, right? So we can just pretend that he said something not naughty at all, and yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's not technically a curse, but that would normally, when you make that sound, it gets bleeped out. Going to be game breaking. You can see that extra gold for Rich is not going to mean that he's going to have an easier time in this matchup at all. Nope. Does have cloth that he bought, so that's going to be somewhat helpful to stem the bleeding up here, but it's not going to be a fun time.
I don't think it'll get him any priority. You are absolutely correct. As Canyon is looking to make that even more the case as he puts down a ward, and we'll just head back. Not looking for a dive. At this stage is Nongshim taking a lot of damage.
That's actually a pretty important word, because if Peanut's pathing was more aggressive, knowing that Rich has that cloth and there is going to be a Jace priority, he might actually look for a gank there. So that timing of that ward is going to end up being pretty huge. Yep. So it's going to allow Khan to farm way more freely and continue that advantage that Jace has. So I really like that ward a lot from Canyon.
I find it interesting that Nongshim opted in for the Leona instead of putting the Karma in the bottom lane, because it does mean that this happens, right? Where Damonkia have just infinite prio of this bottom lane.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get that as we look at this win rate. It's pretty high.
It's a decent KDA.
Yeah.
You'll notice.
I mean, it was a pretty dominant time for Showmaker. This is his LCK stats only. His international stats are pretty good too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to get the cleanse out of Ghost in this game.
Yeah, it should be a fair bit of opportunity here. As, it doesn't look like Damonkia are going to be able to dive or anything like that. So it was just Kellen going for a bit of a reset. He'll wander back into this lane. Control ward picked up as Beryl will take himself a turret shot. That cannon minion was secured.
Beryl eats another one. He's like trying to mess with the CSing of Duckdown by tanking turret shots. He's like, oh, you thought the turret would hit that minion, but it hit me instead.
Yeah.
But you accidentally autoed that one.
And then running low on mana relatively quickly, I guess. That's if you're a Nongshim fan, that is the thing that I guess you're going to be paying attention to. But this is a whole lot of control for the Kog'Maw Lulu on the bottom side. Yeah,
this is why
he is pretty good.
He doesn't get to play it very often, especially into winning matchups like this. I had completely forgot about it. I was like, oh, okay, Lulu goes top, right? Because, you know, that was the expectation for Nongshim, but then they picked the Gnar, and Jace was still available, and this is like the most obvious counter pick. It's never going to be the Gangplank, I don't think, in this comp.
Could have been, but I actually like the Jace a lot more. Turns this into a poke composition, as Kellen not going to be able to find the Zenith Blade, as would have liked it after that Gravitum did go off. Peanut here towards the bottom side, just having a look around what's going on.
Sees there's no ward there, and that's, you know, if Duckdom didn't have to back, would have been fairly tempting. He's still looking for something anyways, goes low on mana, but if he's super aggressive here, there's an opportunity.
And if Beryl face checks, there's a chance that Beryl just dies, as, now looking to decide whether or not to go in. That's a brilliant Zenith Blade, as Beryl is just dead. Peanut's going to grab that first blood, or second blood, sorry, because of course Canyon did fall earlier on in the game. But damn, getting the Diana going early, that is bad news bears.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what you want as Nongshim, exactly.
Yeah, well, Rich now in a bit of trouble as he's going to flash. Boomerang connects. That's going to slow Khan down enough, but he'll take the flash any day of the week.
That's such a great play from Peanut, because you're punishing this lane that is like, okay, well, you backed again. I got Duckdom to return. You already got Kellen to do that once, so you're really just trying to get the full experience here with the Kog'Maw, where you're getting such an early amount of gold by pressuring, and you know that this is something that Damwon Kia does in lane all the time, and you feel very safe. Like, there's nobody they're going to gank without their DPS, right? Without Duckdom here. Like, how can they do that? But actually, against a squishy Lulu, it's just a great opportunity. And, you know, worst case scenario is Peanut there. You get a summoner, but you get the whole thing. So, nice early game lead here for Nongshim.
Yeah. And now you've got the Drake secured as well by being able to, get Beryl off the map. So being able to take even more from this one on the side of Nongshim, and just ahead of the Rift Herald spawning, so perfect timing on that one. Level 6 now collected for Peanut. Canyon still waiting on that one, but should have it in time as that red buff is going down.
Now that Kellen's here, it's actually finally a bot duo and not just a 1v2, because it's been kind of trading backs this entire time.
Yeah.
Leading up until this point, so they can actually now play the game.
Yep. See what build Ghost is going to go for here, as I'm hoping for the shield bow variety, as Khan looking for more damage onto Rich. Mega Gnar relatively close, so doesn't need to be too frightened.
Yeah, I mean, Wit's End is something you can go into against the Diana, but I don't think you have to in this case. The mid laner is not actually an AP damage dealer, it's just Karma, so don't need that magic resistance as much as you would in a lot of different other compositions.
I mean, I'd still take it against the Diana, because I've seen what Dianas can do.
Yeah.
And, I think that's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, especially because he's somewhat fed already.
Yeah.
X-Tech Alternator online, blasting one, just one step away from getting that Mythic. Beryl's headed up here. I don't think this is a fight Nongshim could take without Rich's Narbar, so...
Yeah, they're not even going to go for it, as on the top side of the map, Khan did manage to get that wave pushed back, and that is going to get them some control. So they're going to take the trade. They got themselves the Drake, and they'll give over the Rift Herald. That was, of course, secured. So, let's see what Canyon does with it. Still a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot more passive of a game here in Game 2, because neither team has to, really get a lead. It's not like desperate times, for either team in the early game. Both of these teams can win the late game very hard, so you're not as forced as Damwon Kia was in Game 1 to really just continue to fight and non-stop be aggressive, which, ended up being much to their detriment in Game 1. So we are going to have this kind of slower late game style. So I like that we get two different types of awesome games in this series already.
Okay,
Rich
going to come up towards the top side. Rich has no flash available. The Boulder now on cooldown as well, as Rich is going to be pushed out of the lane by Khan. Duckdom down here as well, still having a little bit of a rough time, but should be able to tidy up these minions and still remain relatively even. Now Peanut looking for Showmaker.
His positioning is too good, though. Showing so much respect right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance. Oh, if he goes for this last hit, as Gory's going to dash on forward, there's the Mantrid Q, gets the flash.
That's good enough. Gives him a little bit of the gold here, too. Here's some gold for your troubles. You committed that whole long game play and doesn't end up getting you anything, so take a few minions.
Yeah, you take the flash, though, any day of the week.
Yeah, no, 100%. Man, he gets some gold with it, too, as Rich is going to lose 2 turret plates here.
Yeah, Shirelli is completed now by Gory, so they've got double Shirelias, theoretically, with the Mantrid Inspire on top of it.
It's pretty crazy what she can do.
A lot of speed.
In the Seoul lane, she gets it super early, too, so now, you know, there's a lot more potential for Nongshim to actually catch anybody who's out of position or trying to clear vision, get punished so much faster.
And this is these are interesting comps, right? Because as far as DPS is concerned, you've got Dokdam versus Ghost, and in this play, Ghost looking real good, but it's going to be about, can Beryl augment this Kog'Maw as much as a Mid-Karma can? And Mid-Karma should theoretically have more resources, but Ghost will too, because he's got Shelly down here on the bottom side, and Canyon's helping him out.
Oh, this is awkward for Nongshim. Like, Canyon's here, I think you have to respect this more than just sending Gory here.
Yeah, and Dokdam's down to 400.
Peanut's here.
Yeah, there's the Moonlight Vigil, connects just onto Ghost. They get the cleanse out of the Kog'Maws. There's the Moonfall onto Canyon, but the Zenith Blade gets Kellen in there. Ghost is basically free hitting, but Gory's going to find his way in onto the side. In goes Peanut and out again immediately. As you can see, Ghost, they wait out the W and then they look to go back. The Pale Cascade not going to save him from that Shock Blast as Dokdam desperately tries to help himself, but it's not going to work. And Damwon Kia destroy Nongshim as Gory will be able to find Canyon most likely, although Canyon's taking a bit of killing right here. Eventually does manage to take him down.
Yeah, it's, you know, as a consolation prize, as is Rich's push here on the top side. It was teleport advantage that really led to the demise here of Nongshim, because Rich did not have his. He still does not have it for about 20 more seconds or so, whereas Khan is able to make that last bit of damage come through. And this is what Nongshim, you know, were ready for, was everything but Khan to come down, because they actually had Peanut here. Like, if you watch this, I was like, oh, this Rift Herald's here. You know, it's Lulu plus his Jin Zhao, so the dive potential is real. And then Nongshim are the ones to pull the trigger and engage because Gory has the flank angle. What they were not prepared for was Khan showing up. And yeah, you can see Kellen is practically immortal here. Canyon does drop down his crossguard. But at this point, the fight is really just unwinnable for Nongshim because Khan's here. Peanut almost dies regardless. Gory can't continue to push the issue. And Khan is just like, all right, I'm here just to clean up. Easy peasy. And yeah, Rich is pushing the top side of the map at the same time, but the value he gets is nowhere close.
Yeah, as Canyon was taken down off the back end. As we just saw, Cloud Drake was taken by Nongshim. Now 5 minutes until a potential Ocean Soul point in this game. Ocean Soul going to be a pretty ridiculous soul for both of these teams that have these enchantments.
Yeah, Khan
in trouble, flashes the Moonfall nicely. But still, now that flash is on cooldown as Solar Flare committed by Callan as he's considering a dive, but I don't think he's going to do so. They're just getting him out of the way so that he can't come back and stop Dokdam from destroying all of the plates.
They denied him a lot of CS and also a lot of experience, whereas Rich was able to get a lot up here.
Although he may just die, does get the Gnar under the wall as Canyon's going to tank up some turret shots for a while as he finds the boulder, and Rich is going to be able to turn it all the way on its head. Beryl
unbelievable.
Just did not enough to save Canyon.
So Rich gets all the experience on the top side of the map, a decent amount of the CS up there under turret, and gets the kill, survives. Meanwhile, Dokdam is getting so much extra value down here. Now Khan is lying in wait, but this is definitely a huge win across the map for Nongshim. They're still behind in gold, but remember, they have 2 objectives, and Khan was hiding for experience. Kellen's here.
Yep, he is going to start tanking up this turret. The Eclipse is going to help him, and Khan is well and truly dead. Beautiful tanking there from Kellen, and they will be able to get some damage onto this inner turret as well, as Showmaker does turn up, so they respect him and they'll back away. But the beautiful thing, while all this is happening, and I'm sorry to take your follow-up there for a second, Wolf, but this is really, really cool, is that Gory's putting on so much pressure, Showmaker can't get around the map.
No, it's crazy. Like, Twisted Fate is the one who's being out-rotated, which is kind of insane. And, I mean, look at how this is played from Rich. How he kites back here. He already used his flash. He Gnar ults, right, and is able to get the Xin Zhao under turret range. Then he goes forward here, grabs a kill, and then, like, he's considering going for Lulu. All the while, the reason why Khan is staying in this brush is because he wants to hit these minions and clear them so the follow-up gank isn't possible. Unfortunately, he doesn't realize Kellen is already on the other side. He can tank that turret super easily. It's a ton of extra gold going over to Peanut. And, I mean, yeah, like you said, the karma is everywhere, whereas a Twist of Fate who has Destiny Gate is not.
Yep, and, I mean, Showmaker also, he's going to get Moonfold right now. There's absolutely no... Okay, no, instead he's just going to... yeah, that's what his Destiny's for, Wolf.
Yeah, there you go.
Escape moments like this, of course, Peanut. Utilizing the Moonfall before that channel came in. They just did not have the CC.
Now, Ghost is looking very terrifying. He's got his Phantom Dancer online. That's his first item, and Hearthbound Axe is going to give him so much more mobility when he is poking and chipping away. So he is absolutely terrifying, and you don't want to be anywhere near him unless there's someone to get on top of him. So Damwon Kia have really scary team fight coming up here for this first Cloud Soul, or the Cloud Drake that's going to lead to Cloud Soul. Could be Soul Point for Nongshim if they get it. And I say Cloud, I mean Ocean.
But one of those things.
What I mean to say here is, like, right now this next Drake fight is where Damwon Kia, I think, really solidify their position in this game, because it's been a little bit of skirmishing, a little bit out of position, players overextending in lanes and getting punished by Nongshim, or trying to commit to ganks and failing. These things are great for Nongshim, but they're still behind in gold. The Drake advantage is all they really have to sit on here. And in a 5v5 fight, Damwon Kia need to start winning those. They need to start taking those straight up, and I think in a minute and a half is where they're going to get their first opportunity.
I mean, I don't even think they necessarily need to, because they have a decent 1-3-1 comp at the same time. But I guess the 3 doesn't look that great when you've got a Kog'Maw that can be relatively diveable underneath these turrets. So it's going to be a kind of awkward comp to run, and we'll see whether Showmaker can utilize this Destiny in order to make sure that they have the flank angles necessary after Khan has nailed the poke, after Ghost has got those living artilleries out and softened up the members of Nongshim so that these team fights can work out. Sort of like this odd split push slash poke slash team fighting wombo comp from Damwon Kia. It's sort of somewhat awkward because it's trying to do a whole lot of different things at once, but if they do manage to do all of those things, then it certainly can work out pretty well.
The Nongshim comp is a lot more straightforward. You know, you front-to-back team fight, you have good engage, you have, you know, gap closer in the Shirelius and the Inspired Mantra, as you mentioned. So, or Mantra to Inspire, I should say. And,
ooh, Docdom's starting to do some damage though, Wolf. And we know when he gets his years online, what is he up to as far as like charging up this ability?
I'd say, like, based on his performance today, we're looking at like 500 or so.
Whoa! He's overcharged.
Oh, I just meant like in his performance in the series.
Oh, in this series, yes. What about in this game?
In this game, like, we're looking at like maybe like 95.
95,
almost halfway there.
Almost halfway there. We'll keep our eye on the years bar because I think it starts to go up pretty exponentially as Khan, the value on that Shock Blast, just ridiculous. Really nicely done. Peanut going to eat some honey fruit though, and that's going to help him out.
This is not where you want to be, I think, as Nongshim. You really need to set up a better position, taking so much chip damage.
Yeah, and this outer turret is now probably dead at the same time as we're looking for the Ocean Soul Point. Can Canyon steal this one away? It's likely to be a 50-50, and it is. He steals it away. Moonlight Vigil comes in, goes relatively low, but no one can get on top of him. Doctor, oh my god, the Moonfall from Peanut! Gets in there, gets the stopwatch as well, and now Rich dives on top of it, smashes the Jace into the wall, and that one must have felt cathartic as now Showmaker gets flashed on. Doctom has a party, he'll pick up that kill, and you might be able to destroy all the structures and poke them down, but you can't outfight Nongshim.
Peanuts. Ultimate there, the Moonfall was so fantastic, it was perfect. It doesn't get better than that.
Oh my goodness. It was like he went into the game code and put the champions in the middle of it.
We just watched a miracle happen live. I mean, I don't know.
That was ludicrous. That was absolutely. He's the one. He's beginning to believe Wolf.
Yeah, not to mention that, you know, the Rift Herald doesn't actually get the turret. It dies after its initial charge. Now, watch Peanut's position here. Yeah, he does not get the Drake, but who cares? Because look at where he's going to go. The Moonlight Vigil comes through, and then Peanut's back in the brush. Boom, dashes through, and it's the biggest Moonfall of the year.
Instantly 4 flashes.
And then Rich is like, yo, what's up? I'm here on Mega Gnar, and you lost your front line.
Have a house. not in the good gift way.
Nongshim, man, they're always
상대 맞고.
doing so
진짜,
well in these
진짜,
break
진짜.
fights tonight.
천천히
and
천천히.
Peanut says play it slow, play it slow. He ults
야,
in.
다 너플 다 너플 다 너플 다 너플.
He's just yelling, no flash.
Yeah, it's a lot of
제이스
no
제이스
flashes.
너플. 가자 얘들아. 끝까지 가자.
Let's go all the way. Push it to the end.
다이애나 보신 분?
Anyone see that, Diana?
Yes, Peanut. Yes, we did.
Oh man, I mean, that's POG where it doesn't matter what else happens in this game.
Yep.
Rich has had a great game himself too on weak side. He's actually ahead in CS right now, 3-0-2. Helped really clean up that fight.
Yeah,
This
and
is a
also had
terrifying
that great.
Nongshim.
He had that great turnaround as well onto Canyon, but Peanut's definitely getting this already. There is no doubt.
He can't
in my
see.
mind.
Oh,
neither of them can see. The former teammates, unfortunately, blind to each other. As Peanut is going to dash forward, finds himself the ult, and Khan says, "Nah, mate, nah."
Baseball
My hammer
bat
says
swing.
no. Yeah, exactly.
They want him though.
Okay, never mind. There's a solar flare. He's going to get slowed down. Q's going to connect. Moonlight Vigil does as well. Dom last hits him with it because he's got that kind of swagger. But Damwon Kira pushing up the mid lane as well. Teleport back towards the inner turret on the top side of the map.
I mean, Aphelios can actually just be left on the side lane. He's like, oh, you guys are all going to push mid? Okay, well then now that Khan's not here, I'm going to get a turret too.
Well, now you've got some chasing onto Rich, but that's kind of what he wants at this point in time, as Canyon is going to be able to connect as Showmaker comes in with the Destiny. Doesn't have a stopwatch, so, I mean, Rich is just dead, but it takes a while to kill him, and in the meantime, like you say, Dom takes the inner turret. Now we'll have to see what eventuates after this.
Yeah,
because that will mean whether or not it was worth Rich sacrificing his life.
I mean, he also gives 300 extra shutdown gold. I didn't see actually who got the kill there in the end. I think it was Canyon. No, it was not actually. Don't know who got the kill, but anyway.
Oh, it must have been Showmaker then. Right?
Yeah, I think so. And that's a lot of extra gold going over to this Twisted Fate, or whoever ended up inevitably getting that kill. So even though you got that bottom turret, you lost your own turret, and you also lost Rich. If Rich lives and you get that extra gold from that bottom turret, right, the inner turret's now giving a lot more gold on this patch, I think you feel pretty good about this, but sadly that was not the case. So I think this is a big win for Damwon Kia. Either way, you know, it's really about these 5v5 fights. Meanwhile, live!
Yep, we've got Showmaker getting dove on, and Gori is going to be able to stun him up. Goodbye. Well, I mean, he is going to go golden for the meantime. That's his stopwatch now broken. However, he's going to have his Zhonya's relatively soon.
I mean, they're grouped up. There's a lot of pings here towards the Baron, but I don't think they could start it. Damwon Kia making sure they come over here to respect it, and we're going to watch this one more time. I really wish we had the pip for live, too, because a lot could be happening right now. As
yeah.
Rich, you know, does end up getting caught here by the Xin Zhao. Really nice.
The Wind Become Lightning was really good.
It's like on the edge of it.
Right.
It hits him. And then there's just so much lockdown here. Rich lives for so long because he's so fed.
And was it the Cogmore that actually grabbed the kill in the end? So
that's a lot of gold.
It's great news for Ghost, who might actually get a Mythic this game. Not entirely sure. Looks like he's going to go for Rageblade next, so we'll see. Will most likely be the Shield Bow eventually.
Yeah, because I mean, we are going towards a really long game with these two comps. Unless, you know, one team makes a massive mistake, it's probably looking at a 40-minute game.
Yeah,
with the Lulu Karma here, maybe even longer.
Well, now 10 seconds, on the Ocean Drake. Let's see whether Nongshim can actually play this one effectively as Dokdam goes down to half. That is not what you want, as Rich is going to get poked out as well. Ghost lands that last living artillery also to push them even further away.
See if Peanut can have another Miracle Engage, because I think that's what it's going to take to win this Drake fight.
Good control wards to come down here, though, for Nongshim. Into this brush. Now Peanut should be able to clear that one out as well, so things go a little bit dark for Damwon.
They're going to pull the trigger on this Blast Plant.
Oh, Kellen's over here by himself. Not exactly optimal, as Khan looking for him. It looks like the Drake is just going to belong to Damwon Kia. That's going to be their second teleport back from the Na as Rich gets back into position, but I mean, that teleport does absolutely nothing here for Nongshim.
I mean, as much as it was awesome to see Peanut have that amazing 4-man Moonfall earlier on in the game, it doesn't matter in, you know, if every fight is reliant on a heroic play from Peanut, then your composition is not in position when it needs to be. You know, because Damwon Kia had Prio on the streak and were able to clear it out so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't get a fair fight. You don't get to fight at all, because if you try to come in and trickle into that fight, you lose it every time.
And they were behind the play as well, right?
Yeah.
They weren't able to get the setup as effectively as they wanted to. Yes, they had those 2 control wards on their blue buff, but that doesn't get you into the pit. And when it's Ocean Rift like this, the amount of brush control that Damwon Kia have available to them in that area is just ludicrous.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, it doesn't always end up being the most impactful thing as the rift changes, but with this one, it's so insane when you have that positional advantage. And Khan is really and truly starting to become a terrifying force on the map, and his poke damage has been the bane of Nongshim's existence when they're indecisive or when they can't get that prio. He just chips away at them every time they're indecisive, every time they wait in the brush or they're looking for the engage. He's putting their health bars low.
Yeah. And you can look at the scoreline and be like, well, he died 3 times, that's silly. But no, I think that Khan putting himself in slightly dangerous positions to get key carries to low health so that Nongshim just can't engage, that wins you games.
And it's so easy for him to do it. He just simply, drops down the gate.
Fish for him.
Yeah, he drops down the acceleration gate and drops Shock Blast in, whereas Rich has to have excellent timing, right? He has to have the right angle, he has to have his Gnar bar. There's a lot of conditions that need to be met.
Yeah. Well, there's a gold card. Showmaker's going to connect it as Khan looking to turn this one around. The flash comes out. Peanut doesn't press the Moonfall button, which is valuable. As now he's looking to try and get himself out of the way. Gold card connects, but he's in the brush.
No Gnar bar for Rich.
Someone have to be careful here about overextending, as it looked like, weirdly, that the Shock Blast healed them, but no, that was the Gromp giving some health back.
Peanut smiting that one away, I believe, to guarantee that extra health. And a little bit of extra gold. Damwon Kia going to remove a lot of this vision, and they might get away with 2 times in a row this series, just the jump on the Baron. I mean, we are 25 minutes in. Their composition is starting to come online, but they're not going to push the issue here. Not right now. They don't know what vision's in the pit, and they don't want to risk it.
Nongshim had an avenue towards the Baron pit, as now looks like they are going to be able to clear things out, but 26 minutes into the game, and the Baron hasn't been attempted just yet. Might have been an opportunity, to be perfectly honest, if Damwon Kia had God Vision in order to take that, but of course they do not.
Yeah, this time it wasn't like last game where they were able to identify with sweepers that Nongshim were not going to have that vision, plus Nongshim were looking to group on the Drake. They're going to take that vision away now, but this is a completely different scenario. Now, can they grab a pick here or get some deep vision? Because that allows them to back off and then look for maybe a start.
Yep, it is going to be the steal for Canyon as Ward goes over the wall and Damwon Kia not doing anything without full information. And they can get it at a moment's notice, right? They do have the Destiny, but keeping their eye on exactly where Nongshim are, and they've had tempo for so long in this game.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, when you have this much tempo, Nongshim's comp really struggles to get that advantage in positioning that they need so badly to set up these fights.
Yeah.
Because the comp is fragile. I mean, when you're in, baby Gnar or mini Gnar, whatever you want to call it, form for Rich, like, you're fragile, you can't fight, you can't flank. Peanut, even himself, if he has to Zonias early, then that's the end of your engage option. So you really have to be grouped up. You have to have that vision advantage. Otherwise, you can go, ooh, they might be doing Baron. You can come close, but you're never going to be the one starting a fight.
No, it's really difficult. And Nongshim as well, due to the fact that they've been missing out on their jungle for so much of the time, right? Damwon Kia have been just stealing things away. They're behind in every single lane when it comes to gathering resources. And you can see it's almost 3,000 gold, the lead for Showmaker in this mid lane.
He's just been given so many free creeps to take on the map.
He's also Twisted Fate, who does cheat a little bit on that front, but still, definitely a good feeling here for Damwon Kia, and it seems that as the longer this game goes, and the more control that they're able to get, the better it's going to be. 30 seconds now. As Nongshim, can you get a smite this time is the question.
Rich,
all right, in goes Canyon. They're not even going to wait for this one to spawn as he gets the wild growth. Peanut goes golden early as Rich has a great Narbar, looking for an opportunity, but the gold card comes in and Rich has to crunch his way out.
That was so well played by Canyon.
Yeah, man. Damwon Kia actually playing out these last few fights so expertly. That's going to buy them their space that they needed. 7 seconds on this Ocean Drake.
But you can't go through this choke as Nongshim, not without Mega Gnar.
The Shock Blasts, man, they are so dangerous. The Gnar is making his way back in. Kellen is going to avoid the Wind Becomes Lightning. And now this is another brief opportunity for Nongshim to find an opportunity. But if they keep soaking all of these Shock Blasts, they just can't do it.
You have to get out of here. You can't win this fight anymore.
Yep. Rich, I mean, his health is not dangerously low just yet, as Gori has to inspire himself to get out, but look at this. I mean, Damwon Kia, they've just poked them enough You got them out of the way, and this is what happens if you don't have that setup effectively, and if you can't find an opportunity to jump onto Damwon Kia, because this is largely Damwon being super good.
I mean, yeah.
Right? Not giving an opportunity for Nongshim to roll over the top. As soon as Nongshim have a man advantage, they kill you.
I mean, Canyon also engaged that beautifully, right? Jumps in with his Crescent Guard, then he gets, Lulu ulted, so he's basically immortal. A lot of resources for Nongshim are put onto him, but that's all it takes. And oh man, these Shock Blasts are really just starting to take their toll.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's the four-man Moonfall fall again! What the heck, Peanut? He goes in, he does fall down though, as we're looking for a Mega Gnar from Rich. Gets it into the wall, gets Ghost Cleanse as well, but he is going to be still alive. Canyon up towards the top side, not going to be able to lock down Gory, as Rich should help take down that kill, but the Aphelios is also going to go. Kellen flashes on top of Ghost, who's trying to cut it out. The wallop's not going to be enough, and Ghost finishes the team fight. Gory lives, but he's the only one.
Oh man, that was such an exciting moment, but Damwon Kia end up getting the better of this, even with Peanut's amazing ultimate, and the numbers are really just starting to work against Nongshim. And hey, we talked about it earlier on, the Wits End really paying off here in this game. The Immortal Shield Bow coming online here too, just before this moment, so he's able to survive down to the lowest health bars. And now Nongshim just have to clear waves. There's nothing they could do about this Baron take. And this means even more control over the Damwon Kia. And you can't win these fights without positional advantage as Nongshim. And you can make that happen with amazing plays like this. Speed up Peanut, flash forward, Moonfall down. But you can't have the follow-up damage if not everybody's there in that moment. And Nongshim can't always be grouped up as 5, because if they are, they'll lose control of the map. And Rich's heroics here just completely shut down.
Well, in the meantime, Khan's going to kill Gory. So, there it is.
Yep.
Horizon Focus.
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool item to pick here, considering the circumstances. And I mean, Serpent's Fang online here. Xinqiao has a stopwatch. So how do you kill Canyon?
I don't think you do anymore.
I mean, that was probably the last chance Nongshim had to, pull the rug out from under Damwon Kia, have a great engage in a weird spot on the map, take an advantage, and then have control. But it does not happen, as this is just Gory getting greedy here, trying to grab these Krugs for some extra gold.
Khan does so much damage. That was absurd.
I mean, Damwon Kia are pushing to win.
Yeah, no, they certainly should. It's just so hard for Nongshim to reliably get onto Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, just Peanut, he can have another heroic moment, but the damage is so high that even if he does, everybody dies before they can actually finish off the Damwon Kia players. Yep. It's just as simple as that, unfortunately, as Kog'Maw is insanely fed.
He is, as is Khan. I mean, he hits, I think the hit rate on priority targets for these Shock Blasts is 80%. It's just nutty.
And it's going to keep happening. But Jason's one of the most terrifying champions when you have Baron buff. Push it down.
Yeah, the Siege is just ludicrous. You're exactly right. As Showmaker fishes for an Everfrost, won't find it, but the inhibitor in the mid lane is, just absolutely obliterated. We're going for the team fight now as Kellen finds the way in. Canyon immediately going to get Wild Growth, throws down the Crescent Guard as well, and it looks like he's immortal. He half is. But it's going to be pretty comfy as we look for the Nars. Rich just misses all of his buttons, unfortunately. Docdom, though, is still dangerous, and they have to respect the Aphelios. He's got a lot of years on him, but it may not be enough. I mean, Kog'Maw's been around for longer. Maybe that counts.
He's just so low, doesn't have his ultimate anymore. This is one chance.
Well, another Moonfall is now available, but oh no, Peanut just pops. No opportunity to use the ultimate.
He had no flash available, so there's just no way for him to close that gap without taking too much damage first. And that should be the game.
It should. It just doesn't seem to be a response. As there's the Solar Flare, gets the flash out of Khan. The re-engage for Canyon is Docdom. Presses everything and runs for the hills. The last Nexus turret will go down though, and Nongshim not going to be able to find this one. The Mega Gnar goes in. To do a Pinata impression as the Nexus does the same. We're going to game 3, and I couldn't think of a better treat for this evening in this series. Damwon Kia fight back. It was a nail-biter, but in the end, it was all Damwon Kia.
Yeah, and once Damwon Kia took tempo control over the map, the Jace value gets higher and higher and higher because you're running into this composition when you're trying to look for Drake fights, when you're trying to actually group up and take those fights 5v5. By the time Peanut gets into position to have that Moonfall play, your carry's at half health, your front line's at half health. Rich lost his Gnar bar. You have to be more decisive, you have to have more vision control, because if you don't, you just end up getting owned. And Khan had a rough start to the game. Honestly, it should have been way freer, right, in that matchup against the Gnar.
Yep.
Gnar got fed. Rich is like sitting up going, thanks, guys, for all your assists. He was getting hunted down on the side lanes nonstop. But when it counted, when it mattered most, he hit the big Qs. He hit the big damage.
Straight up. I actually think that Khan solo won like at least 3 fights that game just by landing key shock blasts over and over again on priority targets. And Nongshim just never had a way in. They never had an option. The draft also, I really liked it. Out of Damwon Kia, I think that, you know, the Twisted Fate from Showmaker could have done a few more things earlier on in the game. But in the end, you saw it just work so well at just keeping Nongshim at arm's length. Despite the fact that Peanut had a couple of those heroic moments, they had to be so heroic to even get towards a potentially winning game state. And then they had to play the rest of the game, rest of the team fight out. Exceptionally well.
I don't think Peanut's going to be allowed to play Diana again. Even though they lose this game, it's something that it gave them so much grief throughout the early game, throughout the mid game, and even later on in the game. It was the few chances Nongshim had to actually turn those fights around. They were far behind enough to where it didn't matter as much, but I mean, let's take a look at his damage numbers in this game. He's almost done as much as Duckdom.
He's done double literally everyone. Yeah. That was what we like to call a Khan hard carry. Just a friendly reminder that Khan's most played champion of all time is the Jace, and he's extraordinarily good at it.
He was 80%, I believe it was, before this game. It's going even higher. It'll go up by a small margin because he's played it so much, but, you know, considering you picked the Gnar into this and it was available, bit of a draft mistake here. Yeah, it wasn't about the lane matchup, though. It was just about his play in the mid to late game. He's been shown a lot on camera here. I think he might be a 12 for 12er on this one.
I think so too, but ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 3 in the decider between Nongshim and Damwon Kia. Don't go anywhere.
나 영볼까? 야, 편히. 뭐야, 참아. 가자.
나 버퍼 나 변이 썼어.
타워 치자, 타워.
포대 일로 와봐.
타워 치자, 타워. 나 돼? 우리 만화 없어, 타워 치자, 타워 돼. 제이스 라인. 포탑. 타워. 아이고.
나 W 8초.
야, 진짜 맞아야겠다. 아, 저쪽에 있거든? 이긴다. 내가 나. 나를 공 있어.
야, 앞에
나를 쳐.
변이 써줄게.
스턴으로 가.
앞에 가 때릴게. 아가비.
에스턴? 나이스.
Look at Barrel's positioning. It's so hard to even walk towards the barrel of Live Sandbox right now.
I mean, someone here just need to throw their wallets up into the air, and they should be able to beat Live Sandbox. Let's see whether they can finesse it. Effort looks for it, doesn't quite find it, and Canyon looks to be trying to do this one by himself, but he's going to fall first in this fight. Prince goes golden, Showmaker finds the backline, but also finds 4 members of Live Sandbox. There's the stopwatch. He's still pretty high health. His effort's going to be taken down. What do they do about this guy? As Showmaker, didn't have quite the vision. Out this vision now as well. They spot Hannah making his way forward as now Olaf completely out of the fight. Carrier in a bit of trouble as well as the final chapter doesn't quite do enough work. Canna dives on in. He's desperate for the recess, but the Yumi keeping everyone alive, and Gori destroys the backline. This is Ocean Soul, and I have a feeling it's the beginning of the end.
야, 대기라 조심해, 대기라 조심해. 이게 루시안이거든.
They infiltrate for a freak out. Flash now gone on Croco.
Oh, but this one! Look at this! What? Where did he come from? Where did he go? That is the Ninja LeBlanc play. Trying to get on top of Khan here. Arthur and Vista on the chase. In they go onto Khan, and honestly, can he actually survive here? He's getting so much damage, he's still alive! And the Gwent Needles come through, and they will finish off the job. Khan still alive, and now he's at full health. The power of the Aatrox shown in full effect. KT being frustrating as he wanders on in. Okay, Chovy into, is this the opportunity? They take down the Aphelios as he finds the perfect execution, but so does Dove. The Lee Sin also going to fall down as Chovy still trying to fight this one out. Dove in trouble, the 5-point strike, good, that's the triple, that's the quadra! Hop's going to be the pentakill, and Chovy, we said they had to kill the Akali, they didn't do it.
자, 들어갈 수 있어, 이거. 보자, 그냥. 야, 보여줘라 펜타킬. 야, 뭐냐? 펜타킬. 야, 준아 펜타킬. 펜타킬. 아하, 나이스.
We're back after Damwon Kia versus Nongshim, game number 2, and Damwon Kia bites back Nongshim with this game 2 performance. What do you think of their draft? Not only Ziggs is getting a lot of attention these days, but also we have to think that actually it's about the poke comps that are finding huge success. So this time around, Damwon Kia was able to secure a very solid comp with their Kog'Maw on the backline and also Jace doing the poke damage, but at the same time, Xinjiao denying the collapse from the opponents. Damwon Kia was able to secure some of the strong lane picks and connect that into a game victory. Damwon Kia decided to play Lulu Kog'Maw into Aphelios, a very strong lane duo. If the opponents have Lulu Kog'Maw comp, actually, you can't really be proactive. And just like Pittori mentioned, Damwon Kia, together with their poke comp, they also had Xinjiao and also TF in order to add more stability. Especially we saw in the Dragon team fight where Damwon Kia was able to have a perfect positioning to pull off a fight. And Kenya did carry some of the fights in this game. There was an accident, he died at level 1, but he was also able to force a lot of flashes out of the opponents, and also Peanut fail flashed on his way to chase that Xinjiao, and also he took E skill as level 1 skill. Diana is a champion that can clear the jungle camps fast with her Q skill, not the E skill. And at the same time, just like Nuclear mentioned, Felix cannot really have the same amount of lane priority up against Lulu Kog'Maw. And because of that invade, even though Nongshim was the one that picked up a kill, they were the one using so many flashes and having some adjusted level 1 play. So this was actually a turnaround for Damwon Kia, ironically. Now let's take a look at this first replay. First one is the Dragon team fight where Nongshim was able to pop off. It was something we couldn't really expect, especially about the ending. The poke was so massive from Damwon Kia. They were able to chunk down the opponents, and everyone on the side of Nongshim was so low. Xinjiao was able to eat up so much damage and steal away the Drake. But once the Damwon Kia players got slightly overextended, he was able to go in for a perfect turnaround fight with his Moonfall. Damwon Kia, after the bottom duo got the turret, they rotated to the top side. So Aphelios at the same time was able to reach a little bit by taking down some of the turret plates by facing up against Khan on the bottom lane. So Nongshim was able to slowly catch up, and that fight was right after that play. So we thought this could be a huge comeback from Nongshim. And here's the second replay once again when Diana was looking for a massive team fight once again, but Damwon Kia countered that entrance so perfectly. It's been a while since Damwon Kia players returned to base. They had a lot of gold in their pocket, and then Diana finds 3 people, but she gets pushed back twice by Xinjiao and also Jace. And then The whimsy on Gnar was also so on point in order to deny the engage coming out from Nongshim players. If Diana had the follow-up from Gnar, Damwon Kia's damage carries would be dying so easily, but Burrow was so on point using his crowd control and also the shield as well. And Showmaker, the way he started off this fight, the way he stood in this team fight was actually so clean that he was, most of the time he was away from the opponent's range and he was able to find an entrance onto the enemy Aphelios. Damwon Kia probably had one of the most finest team fight positioning in that fight we just watched. I guess this is indeed a clash between top teams in the LCK, and Damwon Kia is grabbing the game number 2 victory, and the POG will go over to Khan on Jace. This is the original, the classic Korean Jace, the KR Jace we've seen here in the league scene, and the DPM is just absurd on that Jace performance. I mean, he used to be a great Jace player in the past week, and then he's coming back as a perfect Jace player. I think Khan is one of the most versatile player here in the LCK for sure. I think in the previous replay, I think Nongshim bottom duo didn't really stay alert about the TP cover that was available from Khan. And Jace was a menace, especially against Aphelios, because he could deny so much actions coming out from Nongshim players. Khan, after he got online, he was able to just pick up solo kills on and off the Rift, and Khan is now back on the top on the POC sending. Guri just made it to the top, but Khan is slowly or maybe fastly chasing him with this POC performance on Jace. And 3 of the players are tied for the first place. All of them are the top side of the map, and Khan picked up 10 votes out of 12. Maybe Nuclear is showing some love over his old Damwon Kia bottom duo, but we'll never know for sure. But still, we are heading into game number 3 between Damwon Kia and Nongshim. So back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, as per usual, for the analyst desk translation for the last time this evening as we go into the deciding game between Damwon Kia and Nongshim. And how happy we are to actually have a deciding game, because this has been one heck of a series. Very much hoping that the last game also delivers. Some confirmation, it is Nongshim choosing red side yet again. So yeah, we're going to have them on exactly the same sides.
And we saw completely different styles of game. Game 1, we saw, an early game, skirmish-based comp versus scaling. Scaling won out. Game 2, poke-ish composition. The poke ended up being the most valuable part of the comp.
I like to call it a Jace composition.
Yeah, it was a Jace comp. Yep. And it ended up just crushing, having better vision control, having prio on objectives. So in Game 3, I'm hoping for a completely different style of play from both teams. Maybe back to Game 1 style of aggression, a lot more fiery. But you're never going to play Gnar into a Jace again, I don't think. If you're Nongshim, definitely going to have that one banned away if you're going to blind pick the Gnar.
Yep. The Gnar and Jace were both banned by Nongshim in Game 1, so we'll see whether that happens yet again. But the pivots in the draft were also really excellent from both sides, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
The Lucian being banned out because, of course, the Rise was taken away from Nongshim, and therefore they didn't have an answer to the Lucian that Gori was comfortable to play. That forced that ban and got themselves the Xin Zhao first pick on their side of the Rift. So I think Xin might need to see a bit of attention, because so far he's won 100% of the games. Don't know whether it was necessarily him that got it, but it's about how the draft goes as far as that tempo that you do manage to pick up. So yeah, what the priority picks are, I think, is very important here. Is once again, Thresh going to be banned.
We'll see if Rise is blind banned here for Damwon Kia, because I don't think that's necessarily required, but they have done it, or they did it after Game 2 just to make sure that Gori can't play it. But I think the one constant for both of these teams that I think you can rely on, and I think is totally fine, is Duckdom playing Aphelios, because even in that lost game, as there's the Xin Zhao ban.
Yep.
Even in that lost game, he looked great on it, and I think that's something that you can rely on kind of no matter what. And if you ban the Aphelios here, it opens up so much. So I just don't think that's going to be an option.
This is interesting, actually showing the hand of Dalmonkir a little bit here, saying that Ghost isn't necessarily super comfortable playing the Ziggs as they're going to ban it on blue side. Perhaps looking for a different priority, but it's an interesting situation that we are in, as Gwen is going to be picked at higher priority than the Diana.
Yeah, but it's still flexible, but it's more likely going to be the jungle. This opens up so many strong flex picks for Nongshim too. They can grab the Viego, and I think, yeah, Karma is a great option here because...
Well, I don't know whether I liked it that much on Gori though, so we'll see whether it does get flexed down to Kellen, who is definitely an Enchanter player.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's certainly an option, but it's a flexible pick, right? Because the Viego can also be played as jungle. There's a lot of options there too. So you haven't really shown your hand just yet as Nongshim, but you know that you have a lot of really strong options because the Diana is still open.
Yep.
And you know that Dalmonkir are not going to take it, or if they do, you know where the Gwen's going. So it's kind of awkward here. Nongshim having a lot of flexibility. Now they know the Varus is up too. I think it's more likely that the Karma does go to the bottom side of the map.
I'm sort of hoping so, but we'll see what the Nongshim team composition looks like.
I don't think
you get a bit further on.
Yeah, I like this. This is really strong. You can, deal with the Karma if it is going to be bottom lane. You have Varus into any meta AD carry. It's going to be a nice lane for you. I was worried they were going to do something weird like Blind Twisted Fate or something like that, but no, the Leona pick is really good. And Ezreal.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I was sort of thinking it in my mind, so it looks like it is going to be Karma Ezreal there towards the bottom side of the map, and Nongshim holding on to their jungle pick, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
It will mean that Dalmonkir can ban away a couple of options, and it's obvious that Peanut's sort of, in his mind, gone, well, there are at least 3 champions that I'm happy to play, so let's just pick up the Ezreal, make sure that we have that on lockdown, and then move on.
I wouldn't mind a Renekton ban here too for Nongshim. Just make sure they don't have that strong early game fighting power that the Renekton is going to provide.
I actually kind of liked Rich in the Renekton matchup though, so if they could focus the Renekton towards being a top lane pick, then maybe we're okay with it.
The Diana does get banned, which is a nice response, given that that's super strong with the Karma. And like I said, after Peanut's performance, you just don't get the opportunity to play that again. Twisted Fate removed likewise here.
Yep. Showmaker just showing that he is very, very practiced on that pick.
His side laning was just so good. He knows how much he can push the envelope there.
Makes the game really, really hard as well because you're never allowed to actually play it.
Yeah.
Because he's landing the gold cards on the correct targets at all the right times, while Khan is just poking you down over and over again. As the Olaf is going to be taken away. I like that ban when there's a Karma on the opposing side.
I hope that Dalmonkir don't run the Lulu here because it just doesn't have the same power.
I mean, it won't work with Varus, so I don't think they will.
It doesn't have the same power, but if you don't match with any Enchanter whatsoever, you're going to be kind of outsped through the map a lot of the time. And because the Gnar gets picked here with the Jace ban, with the Twisted Fate ban, now's the time where we have to bring up the Gangplank again, because the Gangplank is one of the best answers to this. You could snowball the lane if you get an early advantage. And that's what they're looking towards, because it's also great at fighting the early game, giving you that global presence, making sure you can dive the Ezreal, be aggressive towards the Ezreal, poke him out, chip him out. I don't like this as much, but they still might pick the Gangplank. They're going to think about it more.
I mean, Silas Gangplank would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good ults to steal.
Yep. Of course, into Gnar is definitely one of the things. Not necessarily in the laning phase, but just in the game sounds like a good thing. Is Lee Sin and Gwen together feels fantastic. Looks like it is going to be Gwen in the top lane as well, as Canyon will likely be taking the lead in.
Ryze is still open, and, I mean, when you think about...
Oh, yeah, you could flex the Viego to the jungle and then pick up the Ryze.
No,
I
think it's actually a pretty solid option, and that's what they're going to go for, because Ryze is so strong into this composition. You're so melee-based that you just simply get to lock everybody down with the root. You're going to sit in the back line. You have so much chip damage and poke damage with the Ezreal. You have safety. I mean, this composition for Nongshim screams like it's about as good as it gets. I mean, considering the bans, like this is such a strong comp for them.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, their mid-range team fighting is just ludicrous. Varus is going to have to get so much work done.
Yeah, he really is. But Dalmonkia's draft is no slouch either. They're going to have control of the laning phase. They can chip away Ezreal. Yeah, the Karma is going to make it a lot more comfortable down there, but you can control that prio. You can control the early objectives. You have such a really strong early skirmishing comp. When you consider the Sylas, the Lee Sin, and the Gwen early on, it's amazing what you can offer.
Wow, Khan is actually going to take the Sylas matchup into the Gnar. Here in Korea, we've We often do this where we pick the Sylas into the Gnar in the laning phase. I don't necessarily like it that much because I feel like Gnar can get a lot of extra pressure in the early stage of the game and grab some plates and really start off on the right foot. Yes, the Sylas might turn it into a neutralized lane in the end, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough, as early pressure is so valuable at making sure you can get things like Rift Scuttles and Heralds and things like that. But we'll see how Khan plays it out, because he did 45% of his team's damage and had a 250% damage per gold ratio. So I don't think that I'm allowed to judge any decision that man makes.
I also think this is a scenario where if Showmaker makes any mistakes, we can have a repeat game for Gory to just really run away with it. I mean, he's going to face a lot of the same issues.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is going to be a good third game. All three games so unique and different from each other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the dream. And I think that Damwon Kia are going to probably be pretty angry as well, especially Showmaker after getting solo killed by this Rise. So looking forward to seeing how this one goes, as we've got a 4-man stack here on the bottom side. I'm wondering where the Scion is, as there's a ward in that brush, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, oftentimes you do want to get level 2 first. You set up for this. I see the ward, and that's going to be into that.
Sometimes you got to go for it, you know?
So, I mean, sometimes they do not toss a ward. Sometimes you just get a free kill.
Yeah.
Or 2, if they really mess it up. Okay, this is not ideal.
Rich is a little bit on walkabout. Has to take Hop first, which isn't exactly the greatest, as Peanut's going to rotate around and help his little prehistoric Yordle.
That's definitely a pretty nice start.
Yeah.
As you can see, taking the E first.
Hail of Blades as well onto the Gnar.
Yeah.
Opting for the extra burst damage opportunity.
I think it's really cool into the Sylas in lane. See how effective it ends up being in that early phase.
Guys, the minions aren't even here. What's going on?
We just want to get some damage done, but Kellen's like, I'll take the gold, thanks.
Yeah.
Freest stacks of his life.
Well, let's see how it does go. As of course, Ezreal, not necessarily known for his early laning, but certainly should get to a decent position in this game. And they will have sort of the push advantage. The Karma is going to help mitigate some of what the Ezreal's pitfalls are. So I think it should be relatively even, as you can see. Ghost taking a fair bit of poke there, but still able to offer a fair bit back as well.
Yep. Ooh, Duck Dom just going to get that last hit.
That's the flash in. Yeah, Kellen's in a lot of trouble. Has to flash away. It is going to be even when it comes to those flashes, as Barrel's also on exactly the same health.
Yeah, they use Exhaust also to help survive here. Barrel is going to still hold Hex Flash, but...
Yep. I mean, it's completely even when it comes to summon spells, because the Ignite also goes down.
Yeah.
But it is still going to be level 2 gained first here by Damwon Kia, but does feel like it is on a knife's edge down here.
The fact that, you know, this Ezreal is holding his own as well as it is just speaks volumes to how powerful Karma is, even in a lane against Varus, right, where you're going to struggle so much as Ezreal in the early parts. You have this Karma here. Do you really actually struggle? Not so much, as we do see Peanut rotating around right now.
Yeah, these Qs are working out very, very nicely. They know that the Leona is a sitting duck.
Like, this actually...
Diego's looming.
Yeah, this actually could end up leading to something. With this minion wave here, they're selling the idea so well.
Yeah, minion wave is conga lining in, so Peanut does have to wait a little bit. But now he's going to find his opportunity.
Here he
goes. The mists come down. Kellen might just be dead first, though. As he's looking to kite this one out, he's got the Inspire. He gets into the alcove as Ghost flashes over. They trade, but it is going to be 2 for 1 in favor of Nongshim.
Oh, this is huge for them. Now, they did have to send... Gory did have to teleport in, so he's going to lose that. And is also going to lose a lot of laning power. So this isn't amazing for Nongshim. It's pretty solid, but it's a kill traded back. Varus gets a kill for an Ezreal kill, so Ezreal not getting ahead there. And, you know, he's going to catch some of these minions here in
I think he only lost 1, and he may have even been in experience range.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
I think he was actually in for that first minion that was missed. But it's going to be also, you know, Peanut's able to get the Scuttle. And he gets 2 assists, so a lot of extra gold going over to him, but he's lost a lot of camps, as you guys can see. He's got time to clear these up and catch up, but
it was a long detour. It was definitely a long detour, as you can see. Canyon making his way out. He'll grab his second Krug camp, as we're going to check this one out one more time. It looked a little bit weird from Kellen, who decided just to wander towards this brush and look to get himself out of the way, but it was all just to make sure that Damwon Kia were in the waiting arms.
They
Nongshim.
sold the idea really well. Like, that was a really impressive long con play from Peanut. And we talked about how, you know, both of these junglers have been a lot more on the farming side these days. That's why their kill participation early is very low. But in this series, it's been the exact opposite, especially from Peanut. He's been ganking non-stop, constant aggression. So changing up the style very significantly just for one best of 3. Oh,
value.
the god.
The value. That's how you know he's the greatest bot laner in the universe. Doesn't let those cannons go. Just doesn't let them go. As it's still a lot of pressure, and as you can see, so many minions in advantage here for Ghost, whose Varus this time around is working out very, very well. Just sort of preying upon the lower ebb that the good old Ezreal has in the early laning phase.
Look at this item from Gory, too. Went for the Oblivion Orb early with that kill. Yeah. That's actually pretty nice against this comp, like Sylas, Gwen. Like, it's actually insane how much value he'll get on this first Rift Herald fight.
Not to mention in the lane against Showmaker, right? Because if he can keep the harassment up, then he can stop that safeguard from being too valuable. Of course, if Showmaker, like right now, has full health, then it's not going to really do too much.
8-game losing streak.
Yeah, he's not doing super well, is our friend Lee Sin. He's been banned a lot, but hasn't won a lot when he has been let through.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of these players, too, we're looking at, like, Umpty on a 2-game losing streak, Chovy, Kroko, Doran. Even the best are having a hard time here.
But this is Showmaker. Maybe that is going to be what makes the difference. Is I believe we'll have to see what he's going to be maxing as Khan. Takes a lot of damage,
Level
actually.
6, but like,
whoa.
Rich is also getting close.
Yeah, he does have the Gnar, and also Kingslayer will be available. I always have to remember that. Is Canyon going to get spotted? Stabbed through from Peanut. Ooh, not quite.
Scary times, man. This is not how this lane is supposed to go normally with the Varus versus the Ezreal, but when there's a Karma here.
Yeah, and also when they managed to get some lane control back, it worked out relatively well.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Look at this, too. The timing of Showmaker backing means that they actually have an opportunity to maybe look for an early Drake play. Not going to go for it, though. Showmaker holds his teleport, which is actually a pretty massive resource he gets to keep for just a few minions.
Yeah, also, you know, Peanut's on the top side of the map, so not going to be rotating down just yet. Looking to try and catch up to, like you were talking about, Canyon's pretty excessive lead that he had earlier. He's kept it now within 2 camps as Barrel's going to Hex Flash for fun. Gets a Mantra out of Kellen for his trouble. I guess you'll take that.
Sure. This is just a really annoying matchup to play here for Rich. Like you said, the Sylas not always having an amazing time, but...
You did not want to go underneath the turret right there. Oh, dear. Look,
sometimes you got to flash your chains, okay?
This has been played out very, very well by Khan. We've seen Nas win this matchup, but Rich is not. This is all about Khan, and it's working very well.
This is all about
not having a great time. Is Khan going for a dive by himself onto Rich and has to flash out?
Yeah, that's not great, and Peanut's just going to solo this Drake with a bottom prio they have.
Yeah, and we've got some peculiar gaming happening here towards the top side of the map.
I think you caster cursed Khan a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was still him asserting his dominance.
Yeah.
However, not exactly the greatest result from the situation, as True Shot Barrage is going to sail by majestically. Tags Boris there.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be really easy for them to reset now. They get the Drake. They have about a 700 gold lead right now. And hey, I mean, the scaling is a real thing in this game for Nongshim. So being ahead at this stage at 8 minutes means that Damwon Kia really need to get this Rift Herald. And it looks like they are going to group up to do just that here shortly. But
yeah,
I mean, like, you can't win this game without it, I don't think. Ooh,
Barrel just says hi. As there's the Q landing from Showmaker. He's going to get himself back to his minion wave as Ghost was searching for a piercing arrow but does not find it. Gori going to collect this minion wave, but you can see Damwon Kia just want to make sure that they get this pressure in order for Canyon to grab them the Rift Herald. Pretty good set play here for Damwon Kia.
Yeah, so much prio, so much control, which guarantees them the Herald. We're going to have a pause.
Oh dear.
Look at the bottom side of the map, though. DuckDom's about to get a ton of money there, and he knows that Ghost was in mid. So that's going to be the trade-off. It's still going to be more gold for the Rift Herald, but if you're trading kind of even right now, you're feeling pretty good as Nongshim. Like, look at the players' faces right now. They know that they are in great shape in terms of how this game is going to go towards the later phases.
Yeah, not in the worst state of mind right now. As you can see, Gori is keeping himself with it. He's got a slight mouse issue or something like that. Something's happened to Gori's mouse as he's just having a bit of a chat, and I think they're sorting it out. as maybe it's fine, as you can see from what he's saying and the lack of things that anyone's doing.
He was like, "Don't touch my mouse." He's like, "I've got an issue, but like, I'm just gonna think it away."
Yeah, let me just concentrate.
It actually looks like that's what happened. He's like, "Don't touch my mouse," and he folds his arms and sits here, and it's like, I don't know. I think he has to touch it to fix it. Like, I think we're gonna have to get a little more hands-on approach. He's like, "Oh, and this is how I shake it."
Yep.
And then it always works. He's like,
"Yep, yeah.
Old mousey, just give it 2 shakes, and then we're good to go. Don't worry."
You're gonna have to fix it without touching it because otherwise it's going to affect how I play the game.
And I won't use a spare mouse because I only use old mousey.
Is that his nickname for it? Good old mousey?
Good old mousey. They don't make this old razor anymore.
No, they don't. Oh, it could be like that Steel Series. Is it Steel Series, the famous StarCraft mouse?
That's, I think, a Logitech mouse that you're thinking of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, there is the old Steel Series mouse I can't remember the name of. And then there's a few old Razer mice that people used in StarCraft 2, like the Imperator. I don't know if that's still made.
I think that was rerun, wasn't it? Or something like that. There was like a big deal made for the fact that the famous mouse gets remade again.
He's got the standard wireless Logitech, looks like, though.
Should be all right.
Got to give good old Mousy a shake.
Yeah, is good old Mousy okay? I needed more of a zoom in. There we go. There's the zoom in. All right. Thankfully, we're sponsored by Logitech, so this isn't just inappropriate brand ambassadorship.
Yep, that's actually, now that you mention it, and that's actually the case, like, that's the mouse I use at home.
Hey, there you go.
That actually is the exact mouse I use at home to play League of Legends myself. Since it
use?
is our sponsor, I can say that.
Oh, no, I use something completely different.
Well, you'll have to keep your mouth closed on that one.
I use a Logitech mouse. Every day. Wait, no, I use a CGV, a Secret Lab mouse. Yes, of course. Got to spread the love.
You found it on the Kakao webpage.
Yes, I did. I made a video about it on TikTok, and then I went to McDonald's to eat it.
You, to pay for it, you did a bank transfer from Wuri Bank?
Yes, I did, obviously. And I did something with a Clev, and I have no idea what they sell. So
RAM. That's the
RAM.
right.
Yes, that's what my mouse is. Yeah, it's going to be RAM. Thankfully, G-Sun's there, getting stuff up on the screen so that we know exactly what's going on. She's communicating via Kakao Webtoon, just sending us a whole bunch of
I think we got all the sponsors.
So I think we're back into the game.
Yes.
So there we go. Hashtag ad and hashtag ad over. Sometimes in the LCK, we don't just give you ads. We give you them during the actual broadcast itself. I don't know whether that's breaking the fourth wall or building a fifth wall.
I was told we forgot Omen, so I'll tell you how the spot lane is going. It's not a good omen for Damwon Kia.
There we go. Yeah. Nailed it. Something noodles. All right. And let's drive home in our Kias later tonight.
Sure.
Yeah. Got him. Now we've got the teams. We've got the LCK.
I love a good
sorted.
shill.
Yeah.
Ghost is going to catch most of these minions. At least that's a good thing he's got going for him.
And Gory here is just going to clear out some minions in the mid-game. So let's take stock of what happened. It's an 800 gold lead at the moment as the dust is settling back down.
Yeah, a lot of that will be brought back once that Rift Herald gets dropped down, and it looks like Canyon is rotating over to use that in the bottom lane. It's kind of an awkward timing to hold it now to use it for Drake Prio, so I think we're just going to see it tossed early. And actually with the timing of this, they steal blue away. Duckdom's left now on an island. This is a great time to get a lot of extra value. They're even going to grab this Scuttle Crab.
Yep. Get everything on the bottom side here as Duckdom looks to just poke out Ghost a little bit with his True Shot Barrage.
There's no plates taken yet, so we're not threatening first turret blood or anything like that, because, I mean, this has been such a Ezreal-dominated lane, as crazy as it is to say out loud.
Yeah.
At this 10-minute-and-a-half mark here, but still grouped around this bottom side. We don't know if Cannon's actually going to commit this time around. Looks like not.
I imagine that Showmaker is pretty keen to try and go for a kill here as Rich is fighting against Khan. Khan steals away his ultimate, but Rich might be able to do it better. Let's see. The Nabar does get charged up. Not quite able to find an angle, and he'll just get these minions moving forward, throw some houses and stuff around, and he'll be A-OK. Very close to a whoopsie there, but we, I think, almost managed to save it.
Yep, he's got his Phage, so he's very happy to just kind of heal up and be chill. It's all good. Down here, you know, the push continues as Beryl has kind of given up on playing duos. He's going across the map. Yep. B52's roam style in it.
Oh, Peanut is here to answer his old teammate. There's the Heartbreaker forward, and Khan's going to be feeling exactly that way. Peanut is going to be able to lock that one down. 3 kills now for Nongshim, and one of them going over to the now Silas, once Viego, as they shove out this lane.
I mean, this is the dream for Nongshim right now, to be ahead in this early game, to be having successful ganks, whereas, you know, Ghost is left on an island, Kellen, you know, just staying here with the Ezreal, continue to push, and that means that, you know, we're not seeing any value from Beryl whatsoever on the map. He's trying to find something, but has been unsuccessful thus far. So they will push this one back through.
Q connects here onto Gory as well as he wanders his way around. Peanut turns up. Showmaker not going to be able to go for too many plays. It hasn't been Canyon hanging around here in the mid lane either, as now Ghost possibly in trouble. True Shot Barrage finds the Varus as Doctarm looks for more. The Piercing Arrow not charged up quite enough, in fact.
I mean, I guess Varus needs a haircut so he can avoid those.
Yeah.
Was like on the edge. I can't believe that actually hit. Either way, he's going to be forced back now, and this
gets a heal for free as well, does Doctarm. And winning fights against the Varus at this stage of the game, like, it feels a bit early for Ezreal to start taking over.
Doctarm's like, should I have taken clearance? Maybe not. It can be an issue later on, but I mean, if you're ever getting in position to get stunned or, you know, rooted or caught by anything in this game as Ezreal later on, you've probably made a huge mistake, as now we'll see this Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane, in fact.
Yep, Showmaker is going to be able to grab some of that plate value. Looks like Gory will be able to poke Shelly in the eye and stop her from doing too much more damage as Khan moves back into this lane. So, it is, as it stands, not exactly the most gigantic league for Nongshim, just that 1,000 gold. And the Drake is now live with Ghost here towards the bottom side. Looks like Drake might be opted in for eventually.
Yeah, they have Peanut nearby. He's going to take his Wolves right now while they clear this wave. But it's a better group up here. In fact, the prio goes to Damwon Kia.
Yeah, I actually thought that they were going to contest for this one. It looks like they may be, as Gory's going to move in. Q connects from Showmaker as the control ward goes down. Canyon, he might have to dance over this wall. He does have Flash available as the Piercing Arrow comes in. And Peanut just jumps into the circle. They do have the follow-up though, and Peanut's taken down. And the Varus steals the Drake! Disaster for Nongshim!
Oh, how did this happen? Oh, this could have been way better played by Nongshim, but I got a little bit too excited. Not only do they go in and collapse on top of Canyon and they lose Peanut, but they don't get the Drake either. Stolen by the Varus. So well played by Damwon Kia. They don't lose any flashes.
Yeah, I loved that sort of bait into the back of the pit where he lands in the awaiting arms.
Yep.
Damwon Kia, really nicely done.
Beryl is like ready. He's like, I can be in, I can be out, it could be wherever you want.
Yeah.
Canyon waits till the last second, uses Mist there to absorb a lot of the aggression. That was very well played. And it is going to be Infernal, which I think is very good for Damwon Kia, because if it was Mountain, there was always a chance that Varus is going to end up being very, very difficult to find value with later on in the game, which is exactly where Nongshim wants us to go, is that later game. So let's watch this one more time as Beryl's on the backside of this pit. Canyon has his Mist available, so he absorbs a lot of this. Peanut goes in, then he's rooted. Uh-oh, Showmaker's over the wall.
So good as well, and yeah, Showmaker easily able to get that one done. No smite, of course, as we're just going to watch Ghost.
So much CC.
먹었다.
Did he catch him?
He's like, I got it.
I think he might have cast it before, as he's now dead. So punished pretty immediately, as now Beryl might be in trouble. Rune Prison still on cooldown for the moment as Beryl flashes away. Showmaker wants to try and help out with this one, as Beryl is going to die, and Showmaker there's nothing he can do about it. Nope. Fortunately for him.
And
so that's the bottom lane dead.
Exactly. Bot turret should go up. Canyon's going to get this second Rift Arrow, which is going to be, you know, it might be valuable in some sense, but it's not going to be as great here, trading back-wise.
I'm getting some Doctarm Monk W vibes.
Yeah, dude.
It's
2-0-2. I mean, Divine Sunder is nerfed, but Doctarm isn't.
Well,
okay,
Gory's going to make his way in yet. Phase Rush is a heck of a rune, and so he's going to be able to make it out. The flash forward from Showmaker, though, says absolutely not. He is not making it out. And that is going to be the kill. He has a bit of assistance, but Showmaker's going to find some revenge.
Let's see if they can pull something off up here on the top side of the map, too. Khan is aggressively trading.
Yeah, chains do connect, as Rich needs to be careful to keep his distance. As Khan keeping himself alive pretty comfortably.
This should be, you know, a lot of value here, you know, gained. The mid turret's going to go down. I don't know if this Rift Herald even crashes. It might crash the inner. Nope, just going to be the safer variation. Showmaker knows everybody else is grouped up. Yep, and there she goes.
That's a real dead turret.
Yep.
25 gold going over to knockdown. There we go.
So
as we'll see this again.
Yeah, this is just going to be the bottom pick here. Realm Warp from a very long distance away, and this is how Ghost died. Just so much CC. Both of these teams have incredible amounts of it. Showmaker comes over here to try to help out, but he jumps on top of Gory and he's like, yeah, with 4 players here, I think I'm just going to safeguard. Oh, wait, I'm going to use your dead body to get out of here. Then, yeah, you and I are on the same page there. Then Gory is getting a little bit frisky here in the mid lane and will be taken out. Canyon tanks the turret. Showmaker is over and out. So a bit of a skirmishy mid-game now. We had a little bit of a lull state for a while there, but Nongshim still having this fed Ezreal. And yes, 1 death on Gory, but he's starting to get online too. It gets a lot harder from here for Damwon Kia to win these fights and these skirmishes consistently. A lot of this on Ghost and Khan.
Yeah, you can see on the bottom side of the map, Nongshim, decent advantage. That's why they still have that gold lead. Of course, Khan, as this game goes on, is going to be more and more dangerous. You know, these Silas Nars do a bit more than Nar himself, which is a bit sad. You know, you'd think the inventor of the ultimate should be the better one at it, but that's not how it works. As we've got Chains of Corruption connecting, but Ghost is not going to survive this one.
Ghost probably wishes he took Cleanse at this point.
Well, now Showmaker's fighting Rich, and Rich is going to flash away immediately. Q connects, though, so Showmaker, we're going to chase after him. That's the heel to the skull, and that will kill the Nar pretty comfortably.
Gory.
Yeah, he should be able to escape this one, yeah. Realm Warp is something that you can't really answer very well as a Gwen.
It was a really nice Q from Showmaker when he killed Rich there on the bottom side. Rich was really trying to juke it.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Showmaker's first time playing the champion this season. Yeah, it is. So
certainly something that we expect Showmaker to be pretty good at, as we've cursed him pretty comfortably right now, as he is definitely dead. A lot of people down here, as Gory's like, did I miss something? And yes, Nongshim says yes, indeed.
This style of game where we're trading kills and trading objectives, because Nongshim is often trading up, but even if they weren't, even if it was dead even in gold, favors accelerating the game towards Duckdom's power spikes, right? He hit level 11 now. You know, he's got 2 items online. He's going to get a 3rd fairly soon. They're giving all of the resources over to him, all of those minions in mid lane.
Oh, I don't know about this, because the Drake has just spawned, and you can see they're pressing in on this bottom inner turret. Of course, they do have vision of Damwon Kia on the top side trying to get that push, so
it works out.
Might actually just be able to take both.
Yeah, I think you're right.
This is greedy, but they'll be rewarded.
And it's an inner turret, so extra gold here. They can grab the Krugs, are going to steal away a lot of the gold out of Canyon's jungle. The fact that Canyon and Ghost have shown on the top side of the map is really massive for Nongshim, because yeah, maybe they can group up and grab this turret. Not even guaranteed, actually, but the cost, what you lose on the bottom side of the map, is so much greater. As I think this might be... Oh, we're going back to Ghost getting picked here now.
Yeah, we're going back a real long way.
He buffers the Chains of Corruptions in with the stun, and that's the end of it. Like, Beryl can't do anything to assist. Wastes a Solar Flare there.
Yep.
As this is going to be, like, Rich trying his best to dodge the Q. I can't believe he stays for this.
Now that wallop was... I guess he was timing out, so I guess could just throw it whenever he wanted to.
He used Flash, too. Yeah. That's on you, Rich. Like, he can't give you any credit back for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, as this was then Showmaker backing it up with a unfortunate performance afterwards.
Oh, no, this is what it was all for. Like, he baited him in, you know.
Yeah!
Great play from Rich.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Well, Khan is now Viego.
Heartbreaker not that great in this scenario.
More gap close, always good for the good old Silas, as he's just going to die. Yeah. Now, Peanut, what does he turn into? Thankfully, it's Silas. Because I thought with the Heartbreaker, I'm like, does he somehow turn back into himself? No, that's not how that one works, Atlas. Maybe it's getting late. Maybe these games are being too exciting, but my brain malfunctioned very heavily.
I was actually thinking the same thing for about a split second. I was like, wait, how does this work? No, he actually used the Heartbreaker, too. It was funny. Like, his Heartbreaker is significantly stronger.
And we've spoken about this before. It's actually kind of cool. We've got the ult stealer on one side, and we've got the basic attack stealer on the other side, you know? So we've just got a lot of stealing of stuff, and so maybe that's what got into my, you know, least percentage of a brain.
There's some carelessness, though, to be honest, from the side laning from Damwon Kia. Like, every time they get an advantage or they're in the side lane, they just try to push it extremely greedy. Like, look at this.
Like, I want to see what his vision was.
Like, what's your game plan here? Do you kill Gory? Like, you probably don't, actually. He just roots you and goes under turret. So, like, that's your best case. And yeah, Barrel's coming down.
Stopwatch and didn't use it or something?
I mean, I think he might have. We'll see if he has it now.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
yeah, but
I don't know whether he bought it just recently or whether he had it in the last fight.
If he had it, then he still dies and he loses his stopwatch. So I guess he just realized, like, yeah, I'm kind of done here.
That he decided to go in. It's very strange.
It's so
He might be
strange.
dead again. We'll have to find out.
You can't do this careless.
Teleport immediately. 4 members of Damwon are here on the bottom side. It might be just instant revenge. As Gori's going to find his stopwatch button. Good solar flare onto Peanut, who's trying to keep himself alive, but the Rise is not going to be so lucky. Dr. will eventually turn up for this potential fight as the circle is going to go away and Nongshim are just going to exit the area. 2 minutes on the Drake, so Damwon not going to be able to get too much from this. We might be able to get a decent push onto this outer turret in the bottom lane.
It hurts, you know, in this case, as Damwon, that you get this at a really bad timing for objectives. There's just nothing you can take. Peanut!
Oh, Peanut! He's going to make a mistake as well, but Doctom in a decent position right now. Canyon dives on forward as Ghost gets tagged by the Mystic Shot. Canyon is just so huge right now. It has so much healing. They should be able to take down this outer turret. It looks like Nongshim want to fight for this, as Rich is very low but has a decent Nabar. Can he be a hero? I don't know. As Gori now just waiting for the teleport up. He goes mid.
Ah, there was a teleport ward there. I thought he was going to go for the flank. The bottom
so
lane.
did I. Saw it channel. I was ready to go to 100, but we didn't. He went to the mid.
I think that was what he was thinking about doing. And that's like what the observers and you were highlighting those. There was an opportunity for that. I think they definitely considered it. Duckdom's True Sharp Barrage is just now coming back online. The health bars were super low. He was full health, so there was a argument to be made to continue the issue and continue that fight. But Dam1K were going to be able to get out. No problem, and might have even killed Gori on their way out because there was just no CC, no lockdown anymore.
Yeah.
But again, Dam1K have taken small wins, but they don't lead to big objectives, and there's still 2,000 gold nearly down in this game, and it gets harder and harder as the Ezreal is really and truly starting to come online, starting to build towards that Frozen Heart now.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to be building in after that. Looks like more of Malmortius might be coming in just to try and negate some of that Gwen damage. As we're going to check this one out once again. It was certainly man advantage available to Dam1K.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward. Gori uses his stopwatch here, and there's just no way he's going to get out of this. He even uses his Realm Warp. He's like really hopeful. But then if we fast forward, they actually continue to push the issue here, and Duckdom does a ton of damage. We're not going to watch the entirety of that replay because it was actually very long, but
19 seconds.
Here we go.
This is Soul Point opportunity. Peanut getting some melee poke, if that's even a thing.
And now Nongshim actually have Prio for the first time in a really long time in this series.
Yeah, it feels like the first time since game 1.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, as Khan is once again found in the wrong spot, as the outer turret in the mid lane is just going to fall as a product of setting up for this Drake. Ooh, actually, no, it survives.
Yeah.
Just a whisker, hair's breadth away from falling.
He's got to be so careful, Ghost.
Yeah. Got the red buff being taken here as Peanut going to clear out some control vision. Khan wrapping around for a potential flank. Peanut not very close to this.
Ghost can't get any poke at this position. Like, he can hit the Drake, but he can't hit Nongshim.
Peanut can't be in the mid lane, though, as this is likely to be a 50-50 as Peanut puts the mist down, gets into the pit, and just fade away smites it. They get into the mist, and Canyon's well and truly dead. As Rich dives over the wall, Duckdom does a similar thing as Showmaker might be out of position as well. Rich also flashes away. Realm Warp is not going to be taken. That would have been optimistic, but no one actually dies.
Yeah, that's
in
crazy.
That exchange. I think I said that about 3 people were definitely dead and no one eventually died. And now Showmaker might be falling as the flash out from Peanut. Still, no one's dead, by the way. Rich throwing boomerangs around. Duckdom looking for more. He has a shield and full health.
He has full health and he can do so much damage.
Showmaker finds it in the back line, gets the Gnar. Barrel will be taken down as Duckdom looks like a one-man army. He's like, oh, is that all they can do? I guess I'll just kill them all. Ghost taken down as well. The double for Duckdom. Showmaker could be in trouble as well as Gori. He's sure to have a rune prison soon, but the safeguard will get Showmaker out of there. But which way is he going?
Ghost was never in position to do consistent damage, so you can't continue to force this. Yeah, Showmaker gets 1 kill, and he's trying to take this taxi out, but he's going to go down too. That's a bunch of extra gold going over.
And Showmaker, like, he was definitely dead there, but kudos to Gori for hitting every single ability. That was pretty cool.
He certainly did, and also Duckdom is left to his own devices in this fight, whereas Dam1K, there's clearly a comms issue as to whether we stay or we go, right? Like, in this moment, it's like, okay, you're not getting out this time, Showmaker. And he gets committed to it, but he lives for so long afterwards. Duckdom has a huge true shot barrage, so that actually is furthering the issue here. Down 1 Kia probably should just take the bot lane out of here. But they decide, okay, Canyon lives, Rich overextends here, we can win this fight. And Duckdom is ready to 1v5
yeah.
in this fight. Look at how many Mystic shots he hits. And basically, Nongshim was like, no, Duckdom can still fight this. Let's continue to push the issue. And then down 1 stays still. Yeah, Rich is in a bad spot here. Showmaker's looking for the pick on the right side. He gets the pick on the Rich, but like, you put yourself in a position where Duckdom gets so many kills.
Look at him, though. He's just so good at this champion.
He just doesn't care about anything. He's like, yeah, okay, you guys are going to try to fight me? Okay, cool story, bro. Like, my comp is coming online. It's me.
Damn, he's good.
Well, I mean, this game might just straight up be over. I mean, there are ways back into it for Dom 1 Kia, but Nongshim now have the ability to control every single team fight front to back. You're going to have to get a pick. You're going to have to get a flank. Maybe Khan works some magic.
Yep.
But I mean, Duckdom
2.5k, man. 2.5k the lead for Duckdom on the bottom side of the map, as we can see. As Khan not going to quite find those chains, as Rich doesn't look too scared of him anymore. As Peanut going to get tagged by Showmaker here. Gets himself around the right side as there's the safeguard out.
Really greedy to try to control vision this aggressively right now as Dom 1 Kia. Like, you do not have the winning comp in these skirmishes anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, Canyon can just because he has the mist to put down, so he can feel relatively safe when he's in the Baron pit, but I think you're right. It's not one of those times where, like in game number 1, they can just sneak a Baron or anything like that.
Like, well, they're going to try for it. I mean, it's obviously happening. It's very apparent to Nongshim. And, well, it should be. That's disabled
They don't
ward.
have control vision in there, but they do finally throw down a blue trinket as teleports come in from everywhere. Duckdom rounds the corner as Rich, the Nabar in perfect position. They don't have vision of the Baron as Peanut dives on over. And now Canyon's looking to try and turn on him. That's a great knock-up onto Beryl as Rich tries to get into the backline, but not quite able to. Still has the Gnar up, though, as the Baron is going to be secured by Dom 1 Kia. And I feel like we've cast Cursed a couple of times as Rich finds an ult onto the air, but doesn't land it onto a champion, which is optimal in a situation like this, as Duckdom still kiting it. He might even still be able to win this, as there are low health bars. Just needs to land the Mystic shots. But it looks like Dom 1 Kia are going to be able to kite this one out just fine, and Duckdom, without the front lines, not going to be able to do enough.
No front line, and Baron minions are in his way, in the way of those Mystic shots you mentioned. And this was another situation where Nongshim don't respect how important Baron vision is. I said, yeah, okay, you can't be over here clearing this vision away like this. I wasn't really talking about the Baron vision, I was talking about the vision over the side of the pit. And that's something that, as you can see here, Nongshim were able to clear away. They have full vision around the pit, but you don't have vision in the pit. You need to be here faster. You need to respond to this. Such a late teleport coming through from Glory, and Peanut has to go over the wall because he doesn't know what the Baron health bar is. And if he's going for a 50-50, he's got to get in there.
They didn't have any control wards, so they just couldn't do it.
And the Silas ult steal onto Rich was amazing because that's the exact ultimate you want in this scenario. As Showmaker's just like, here, enjoy the rise. Here's some food. Enjoy it. And I mean, now Duckdom's like, I can win this. I can win this. No, there's Baron minions.
No, just wasn't enough as Nongshim, they will probably have their Infernal Soul denied from them as well. Thankfully, Baron's going to be able to do that for you. As this game has taken yet another turn. True Shot Barrage lands only onto Beryl. Nongshim looking to still fight for this one.
They might flip the game over this. I think you don't have to fight this Nongshim. You can just delay, but don't commit. If you delay, you just burn out the Baron buff, and then it's not even soul for them. It's their first Infernal Drake.
Well, Peanut's looking for the wraparound, and they have Rich's Nabar at a decent spot.
I don't know about this. Peanut.
Okay, yeah, Peanut gonna have to try and dash away. Heartbreaker's over the wall. Canyon can dash after him if he wants to. Peanut does have flash and uses it to get away. Is now they're gonna dive on top of Rich. Rich looks for the Gnar, gets a double stun. Is now Beryl. He's gonna be taken down. First kill goes over to Duckdom, who's fighting this one front to back pretty nicely. The Drake goes to Dom 1 Kia, but can they win the team fight is the question. As Duckdom still at full health. Now's the double kill. Canyon goes golden to buy space for Dom 1 Kia. Ghost has flash. He can get over the wall, but that's the triple kill now. It's the Realm Warp. Can Duckdom get into it? He absolutely can, and he's got his eyes onto Ghost. Gory's going to look for him first, as that's a red buff. buff. That was your pentakill, mate. You decide to go for a red buff.
Hey, he was at full health. He had his cleanse, but he did his time in that team fight. He could take whatever he wants off the map. And the crazy thing about this, too, is I thought, okay, Nongshim, you slowly engage onto this. You buy time. You use the Drake as a time burner against this Baron buff. But they actually end up straight up winning the fight with a great front to back. As Duckdom is just untouched in this fight. Peanut ends up being really nice bait here. And Rich gets his Gnar bar. He's in the perfect spot, actually, to engage in. Showmaker's on top of him, gets the Gnars into the wall, and Beryl is just completely disconnected from his team and from reality. I think he's like, I got him! He's like, I see Duckdom! And then the rest of his team is like, go, bro, we're on the other side of the Drake pit.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Gari's splash as well. Absolutely fantastic.
It's just such a great front-to-back team fight. And this is the Ezreal online at its fullest, even though the fight started off so badly for Damwon, or for Nongshim, rather.
And who'd win in a melee fight? Would it be Ezreal or Gwen? Because apparently it's Ezreal, based on what happened.
Look at those items.
Towards the end.
He did not go for the Malmortius 4th, but he will get it on his 5th.
Yeah, the Shrill Grudge coming through. And now, like, this Ezreal is just bogus. 7-0-3. He's played this 9 times so far in the LCK. I believe in the second round robin he's undefeated on Ezreal. I'm not entirely sure.
I'll check on that for you. He's actually 5-4.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You said second round robin.
Second round robin, I think his scoreline's a little bit more impressive than that.
Yeah,
but still 9 games, 5-4, not too bad. But he's playing very, very well right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's been allowed to play this champion so many times, and it has fallen flat. But not tonight. Not tonight, where Nongshim are playing for these late game objectives so well. And he's only level 15 in this game. You know, he's not up there with the Canyon and Gory, but he's been given all the resources to just get 100% fed.
Canyon being the highest level in the game is something that junglers of a few years ago would look at and be like, oh my goodness, there's hope for the future. There's not a lot of hope for Khan's future in this particular game, as he steals a Heartbreaker and actually gets underneath this inner turret. Kingslayer, pretty good as Peanut, looking to try and get out of here. I don't know whether he's going to be so lucky as the piercing arrow comes on through. Canyon, we were speaking about him, he's now going to move forward. Doesn't have his miss, but does have his Zhonya's. It's Duckdom dashing forward. There's the flash Gnar as Showmaker's in trouble. Over the wall goes Duckdom. He's standing on a teleport, but it looks like he just doesn't even care. As Rich will be taken out, True Shot Barrage is blocked by the mist onto the Gwen, and she will escape as Ghost is really dead, like epically dead. And that's another triple. Duckdom just gets every kill.
Oh, he's just the shift. He's like, I have to stop watching the shift. Oh, no, this is probably game.
It might be.
I'm just going to push it down here. I mean, look, this is not going to necessarily be the Nexus going down right now unless somebody else dies here. But the death timer is long enough to get an inhibitor at least. But if anybody dies, I mean, they are at a position where they could do it. Showmaker hands off the keyboard right now. 15 seconds on his death timer. Have to respect the Ez.
Indeed. As Canyon is going to try and defend this one as True Shot Barrage comes down. Canyon's real dead. Beryl's going to follow suit. That is going to be one little caster minion. Has to get ulted by Beryl to get a backdoor bonus that is not going to be enough to keep that Nexus turret alive. Showmaker trying to be the hero here that he gets piled in on. And Duckdom's a tank, by the way. He's built a Frozen Heart. That's going to be the Nexus going down. And Nongshim do it again. They take down Damwon Kia in the third game and bring themselves to second place in the LCK.
The best series of summer so far, and Damwon Kia played their top form. They were getting pretty close to vintage spring in this best of 3, but Nongshim outplayed them. They win 2 best of 3s now against the defending world champions. They move themselves into second place in our standings. Our last series of the entire regular split is their match against Genji. That's going to be a fiery one to finish it off.
Good.
But who's to say they don't take the first place spot before then? Because right now, this looks like the team that at their peak might be a contender for the LCK Summer title. And I never thought before this season started that we'd be saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's just nutty. This is a team that did perform really, really well in the Kesper Cup, right? We have to go back to that. And it was before spring, and I think that we saw the team dynamics roster, and they've always been likable, right? We've always seen players like Duckdom, and we know their skill level. We know that Rich, you know, in titles in the past was literally unstoppable and actually just the greatest, but wasn't the same here in League of Legends.
Oh,
None of it really came together, but it's starting to, and it's looking real good.
I was the one who made the mistake after Kesper Cup. I was like,
on the hype train.
I'm the rookie caster, I'm like, oh, Kespa Cup means a lot, right? Usually not. In this case, it was also you know, it came true. They didn't do well in spring, but Gory coming into this roster has changed everything. And you can see on the eyes of the Nongshim players, especially when we had that pause where everyone's smiling, they look hopeful. This is a team that looks like, for the first time in, you know, including the dynamics history of this squad, they look at each other and you could tell this team is saying, we might go to Worlds, we might take LCK Summer, this is our best season ever. And it is so exciting to follow this team right now. And if you weren't a Nongshim
some rest because their next one could be difficult.
Yeah, and I think we actually have, we will be taking a look at Nongshim's schedule momentarily.
Yeah, we can actually check out the matches that they have coming up. And this is something that I really wanted to draw attention to because it's pretty cruisy, to be perfectly honest, for this team. So we could see them going from 8-3 to 13-3.
I mean, the really tough opponents are at the end of this, right? You know, when you hit Live Sandbox, that's a tougher one, but they beat Damwon Kia, right? They beat T1, so you feel pretty good about that. Hanwha Life, we'll have to wait and see what their form is when we go to match 73.
And what's their momentum like as well?
Yeah.
Because this is a team that does run a lot off momentum, emotion, and we know that Peanut is very, very good at keeping his team together emotionally, but we also know that these guys do run off that very effectively.
There's a World Atlas where this team finishes first in regular season.
Yeah.
It actually could happen where we have Nongshim Red Force being the one who picks their opponent in the semifinals.
They could be auto-qualified for Worlds.
I know. It's absurd. It's absolutely unbelievable.
What's the better timeline? Peanut going to Worlds and qualifying as like our first or second seed, or Peanut going to Worlds and again playing through play-ins?
I think it'd be fun to watch the play-ins run, but I want to see if Peanut's going to go, right? Like, if I'm Peanut, I definitely want to skip the play-ins.
Oh, absolutely, yes. We're not talking about Peanut's opinion because obviously he just wants to do as well as he possibly can. But I don't know what's more poignant. Maybe it's having a better showing as he comes back to the LCK, comes back home, and then goes to Worlds, you know, in a better seed.
I mean, for me, the coolest story for Nongshim is to see Duckdom finally hold a trophy in his hands that he deserves. If they win it, right? If they win the title, we're thinking very far ahead, but like, the hype could not be higher for this team right now.
Yeah.
I don't think
so
it could
fun
be.
to watch, right? Like, I don't even mind whether they win or lose. I just like watching Nongshim play. I like how they draft. It's just a fun team. And what's happened to the LCK? Because we were having these issues, right, where I was at more risk of falling asleep than I was of losing my voice. But these last few games and these last few weeks have definitely been a ramp up when it comes to the energy, and it's really cool to see.
It's do or die time right now, and everybody's getting better. Everybody's looking stronger. Even T1's match earlier today, we had some questions. We were nervous, but they came to play tonight, as did Nongshim. It was a beautiful series between these two. I really think, personally, my favorite for Summer so far.
Yeah.
As, I mean, from start to finish, was a lot of great moments. Really good team play from Nongshim, though, across the board.
And so much skill checking from both teams, to be perfectly honest. You could tell that this is regular season. These teams testing to see what each other is capable of. Because, yeah, it was just a lot of skirmishing, a lot of fighting, and a lot of just scrappy League of Legends. And we love to see it.
If we assume these two teams remain at current form, yes, it's a matchup for number 2 today, but it was also likely to be the deciding one. Like, this is a tough opponent Damwon Kia loses to here. If they end up winning against opponents you expect them to, they will never catch up if Nongshim has this advantage right now from start to finish. So it actually meant a lot for the standings. This might be like Nongshim with this win. Maybe they don't take first. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic. But if they get second, they still get that bye, which is really huge. Like losing this game,
they beat Damwon Kia twice, right? Like that is huge. That head-to-head advantage is just
massive,
gigantic. You're exactly right.
So like this is a match that will probably be referenced quite a bit throughout the end of regular season when we do start talking about who's getting first, second, and third, because this one is so significant.
And also, just think about like even if Nongshim come third, right? And then Gen G, they get themselves together, they come in first place, and they get to choose not Nongshim in the semi-final. That semi-final against Damwon Kia, am I right? That is going to be, or if that is an eventuality, that's assuming our Noodle Overlords don't just take that first place, which they are, you know, very able
Look,
to do based on their schedule.
I've sipped a little bit of Shinramyun broth tonight.
Yes, me too.
But
The
I'm
MSG
happy
is
to.
running strong in my veins, Wolf. Very strong in my veins.
My sodium is going up, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, my arteries are closing, but my heart is opening.
Oh, man. And this was honestly a pretty good showing from Damwon Kia, too, right? They had their moments. You know, there were certainly some issues in the bottom side of the map. I think that's where people are going to point their fingers, but it's against, you know, what could end up being the best bot duo in the LCK. We were saying for most of the season.